How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. We have another Saturday night. We have another After Dark. My name is Aaron Knoll. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. And we are excited to bring all the latest in a very slow news week, admittedly, but all the latest in it. Let's go ahead quickly. One more time. You want to go on talking?
Out there.
Nope.
All right. Well, he made his statement. How's it going, Nikki?
John Cena.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say his name is okay. Wasn't prepared for
No,
that.
I'm not setting you up.
No. Hey, Ian DeCasticker, right there.
The hell?
That's him. We were talking about him last night, and I should have had the
Oh, is that
soundboard ready
his
for
voice?
that.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't know, I was talking about our Falcon and Winter Soldier recap. Go over there, watch that video. If you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, please hit the like button on this video, like and subscribe. If you're in the comments, comment. We're really trying to pick things up here, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna get like a lot of videos. People are gonna go back and look at our old videos. I'm excited. We got big things here. This has been a weird week, guys. I feel weird tonight. Do you guys feel weird?
This is the way.
I mean, I feel fine. I feel good.
Fine.
Mr. Beer, do you feel weird?
Oh, good.
I feel normal, I guess. In a,
Red beer.
I guess, fine way.
Normal? What's that?
I don't know. I don't know. But
I've always been abnormal.
yeah, doing good. And before we start, of course, I do want to say we're still continuing it until at least next week. In the description, whether you're watching it live or after, there is a link to our Asian Americans Advancing Justice Atlanta GoFundMe. Every single thing you donate will immediately go right to that organization. Obviously, as we know, a lot has been happening in the country with Asian Americans. So if you want to help, especially after what happened in Atlanta, please click the link, donate $1. I don't think they can let you do less than $1. I would say a penny, but I don't think they let you donate a penny. I'll try that, but $1, $5, whatever you can do, that'd be very appreciative.
My.
And there's a reason I played that.
Oh my.
Because George Takei, if you don't know, guys, Star Trek Lieutenant Commander Sulu, he's a huge activist in the Asian American community. He was in an internment camp when he was a child. Country that he loved, that he adopted as his own, turned on him. And these things that happen in Atlanta, it's uncivilized. Like, I was going to play Uncivilized.
So uncivilized.
It's not just that, but it's almost de-evolutionary. Just be better than that, guys. This week we've really kind of seen some things where the triumph of the human spirit, it's real. And we can go. I'm not a sentimental guy most of the time, but we can go into like the headline topic now because it's kind of what I mean, what I'm talking about with the Zack Snyder stuff.
Right. So yeah, link will be in the description. We'll keep it there.
Yeah.
For future shows, at least, like I said, for next week. Maybe we'll do a stream dedicated to it. You know, that's something we'll, of course, talk about. I'm sure people would be for it. So, yeah. That way we can at least...
viewers?
Yeah.
We'd love to have you on the show.
Absolutely. But that way we can promote it more, because I kind of was like, screw it, let's just do it. And I didn't even say, hey, guys, we're going to do our shows like that until I think Thursday, so...
No, I think we should do one of those charity streams every month because the way that that GoFundMe works now, you told me the other night that it just like goes to directly to the charity. Like you don't have to collect it and then send it to the charity. It just goes there, and that's incredible. It makes donating to charity and like starting your own thing easier than ever.
True. Yeah, and it saves me a lot of headache when I have to get the money or call them
because you have to like do your social security and stuff like that.
I guess
collecting money online, guys, it's hard to do.
It is hard to do. We
can talk about that on Monday or Tuesday.
What day do we record?
What day do we record? Cancel this show, Beer.
Mondays.
We record on Mondays and then it airs on Tuesdays.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I will be there on this Monday, for sure. Because I've got some opinions and I want to talk about them. Look behind the curtain, guys. But you know what? The behind the curtain stuff. If we ever do get to that like Patreon tier or like of doing things, that's one of the things that I'll have in the Patreon. Because you got to give something back to the Patreon people. Is have a behind the scenes, behind the curtain, where I just screen cap the pre-show, and then I'll heavily edit it in case anybody says anything embarrassing,
Unsavory.
and then put that on as a Patreon exclusive. So if you guys want to see like what kind of crazy stuff we do behind the scenes, get us to like 100,000 viewers or 10,000 viewers or 1,000 viewers, and we'll start getting that Patreon shit.
Right. So.
Oh,
we'll
and speaking of Fever Dream fan put together movements, let's talk about it. We're not going to dedicate an hour to it like we've done with other movies or programs just because...
We got a spoiler review tomorrow.
We have a spoiler review coming out tomorrow. That's, is it 8 or 9 p.m., Matt?
9 p.m.
Or was it earlier?
9 p.m. live?
EST. Yeah. We have a spoiler review going up, and then I also did my own separate solo review of it, and we had the watch-along in which I know Matt was there, Malcolm was there, I believe Nikki was there for a little bit. So we had some different people tune in and out of that, so you guys can get some opinions.
My mom brought me dinner.
Yeah.
On camera? Did that happen on camera?
No, not on camera. I got off camera, but I should have had it on camera if I didn't have to go let the dog out and stuff. Who let the dogs out, guys? Baja, man. That's a throwback. Great at any wedding and any like school dance or anything. But they I let the dog out and I had to do a couple things before, so didn't want to interrupt the flow of the show.
Right.
Let's go ahead and talk about it though, because it is the main title of the video. Zack Snyder's Justice League dropped on Thursday. To overall acclaim very much.
They broke HBO Max.
I would say it did break HBO Max for a little bit.
Yeah.
A
couple times. I was watching it. It was interrupted a couple times on Thursday night when me and Devin were watching. Yeah.
I only had it happen once.
3 times during the movie.
Well, I didn't have to happen to me at all. So.
Oh, you got.
Well,
that's because they knew you were on camera. They were like, let's not fuck him up.
They don't want to screw.
Like this guy just bought a Mac Mini. Let's let's get him.
Look,
get him to subscribe to Apple.
It didn't screw up for me because I had a Mac Mini. I was watching on the Mac Mini, so I had no issue because of that.
Ooh, you were watching it on the Mac Mini.
I was watching,
and it was in 4K. It was no lag or anything.
I did not watch it in 4K because 4K runs up a lot of data on your internet. So I watched 1080p.
Okay, nice.
And it looks wonderful.
Nikki's like, I have never thought about my internet bill.
Oh no, I live in one of those states where we have fixed internet.
Oh, good.
Like we have no, truly blessed. Because all this like net neutrality stuff, it's another political thing that we're gonna do. But we have unlimited high speed internet.
Net neutrality? Oh, that's political.
Yeah, that's why I can do what I do because I got all the internet. That's why I'm saying you got to do that remote thing with me.
So how does it feel to live in a first world country? Because I don't live in a first world country apparently.
See, here's the thing: it's we got great internet but horrible healthcare. See, we got to talk about this on Monday. Ask me these questions on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's great. It gives and takes because universal healthcare is not what it seems.
Yes.
Yeah.
Intense cancel.
Oh wait, Devin's here. Here he comes, guys. I gotta change.
Devin's like, that shit was too loud. Turn it off.
No, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Live viewer comments do show up on StreamYard. This is an example. Click on the comment to show it on screen.
Thank you, StreamYard.
Yeah. We are out of control.
Great.
So let's actually go ahead and get into Justice League. Devin's here now. He hasn't had a chance to talk about it here on camera.
On the Flash.
So just to address the comment.
Oh, I got him that shirt.
Loved it. Should have been what we saw in the theater, and Ray Fisher needs to be rehired.
I agree. He was one of the best parts.
Needs to. Ray Fisher's not getting rehired in a million years at this point, but
I was saying before
another
with,
topic for a political show. Quite honestly, for being
but
real.
I know we talked about the movie. We're going to talk about the movie tomorrow at 9.
Yeah.
If you want to be involved, Devin. And what I really was talking about, and I'm not one of those people that likes the sappy stories, the inspirational stories. This is one of those things that hit me at the end of the movie. It says "For Autumn," and you have a poster in the movie that it focuses on raising suicide awareness, like to call you're not alone type thing. Which, ironically enough, was Zod's first words to mankind.
You are not alone.
It was more menacing then, but it's more hopeful now.
Right.
And one of the things that I just like that I want to say is that for people that are angry about this movie, because this is a movie that like a year and a half ago we were talking about this on this very show, and there were doubters amongst you. Like the Snyder Cut's never happening. I don't know if it was you, Beer, Aaron, you weren't there, but there were people that were saying there's no way it's going to happen. And I said, not just that it should happen. It did happen, and it had to happen.
Beer. Keep it up.
And Aaron, I know you'll appreciate this because you like it when corporations do the right thing. This was the right thing to do. These are
For
grieving
Zack,
parents.
Yes.
These are grieving parents,
And
and they lost a child, and they were wrongfully put out of a job because they weren't given the proper time to grieve. And if finishing this movie, if getting this movie out there for people to see can give them a moment of closure, can give them a moment of peace, then it was worth doing. It was necessary, and it had to happen. But now going to the DC implications, the further DC implications of it, I'm one of those people that say it had to happen either way because you need to protect the brand. You need to protect the Bat. You need to protect the Shield. You need to protect these characters. And the first instance of Justice League cannot be a bomb. You need to right that wrong. Like you need to have, like, the first time the Justice League comes together on screen, it needs to be fulfilling. And the thing about that Joss Whedon cut was that it was just so unfulfilling. And after seeing this too, there was no reason for the reshoots, the mustache stuff. That was the biggest thing with that movie, was the mustache gate. It never even had to happen. The stuff you added with the mustache was unnecessary. This was so great. It crescendoed in a way, not just musically, but like theatrically in a way that
crescendoed musically a lot too.
It really did. No, but it's just a score. Like, you finally got the Hans Zimmer Junkie XL score back. The score, I think, made a huge difference with how good the movie is.
I like most
but the
of it.
fallout of it. I think you said to me earlier this week, it's going to be harder to make the sequel than it is to make the original. I don't think it is, because when they were making this movie, all they had before the HBO Max stuff, all they had was a theatrical release. That was all it was. There was no HBO Max. This HBO Max stuff is an afterthought where HBO Max exists. They released the Snyder Cut stuff. It was happening before HBO Max, but it really took off with HBO Max because then they were like, okay, we can use this to get subscribers. So now they have so many different options with where they can go from this. So whether it's a movie, a series, like a Batman show that has a bunch of cameos, we're going to see a resolution to this. We're going to see this continue.
My thing with that is, and I'm going to say only for the sake of, because we have a spoiler talk tomorrow, just in case anybody watches this that hasn't seen it, I'm going to avoid talking about specifics, but the film does end in such a way where it is clearly setting up not just Justice League 2, but it's setting up a future, it's setting up other direct films, and so my only problem is every indication that DC has made for their plans, because DC has said they do plan to use HBO Max in a way that Disney have used Disney Plus, like they're gonna mimic it, but the indication with HBO Max is they want to put the characters on there that would basically that you'd assume would fail in a theater. I think
like Stargirl.
Yes, exactly.
Stargirl failing
Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle's a great example.
Blue Beetle. They've been trying to get a Blue Beetle Booster Gold movie off the ground for years now,
and they've even now that's getting one now with the guy who made oh god, I forget the movie, but he directed an indie film last year for them, and now he's.
I believe when they start shooting, because the Flash, like
fair enough.
that That's been like nightmarish. But I think we're finally going to be getting that Flash movie. That Flash movie, it seems like that's going to be a sequel to this movie.
Yeah, because they did rehire, is it Kirstie Clemens or whatever her name is? The girl who plays
Iris West.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the most gorgeous woman in the world.
What's her face?
Yeah,
I'm in love with her.
She's contracted to come back. Obviously, they don't have Billy Crudup anymore. They've lost him.
Yeah.
Moment of silence.
My thing is just specifically with the films that we know aren't in active production right now. Like if we're talking about Ben Affleck's Batman, if we're talking about a Man of Steel 2, I could see getting made. If we're talking about like a Justice League 2, I just think those are projects that are too expensive to go to HBO Max. Like as much as, and I stand by this, from a business side, like you spent a lot of money on a film that was never going to turn you a profit.
Yeah.
But $70 million you can at least reasonably write off and justify. I don't think they want to put $200 million plus into a Justice League 2.
And I'm not asking them to. And most of the like money that they spent on this movie was, and like their net loss on this movie was due to not giving it the time to like set, not giving Zack Snyder the time to finish. Because if this was the version, because you can edit this down to like a 2-hour, 2.5 hour, 3-hour version of this movie. A lot of it is B-roll, extended sequences. It's beautiful. I love every second of it. But it's one of those things that there's stuff in here that you don't need. This would have been the ultimate cut of the movie that came out on DVD 10 years later. Or whatever, digital 10 years later. We won't be using DVDs. But what they have
if
in
it's
this
anything
movie,
like BVS, it's like 6 months later.
And they even just released a new cut of BVS too that has like the 4:3 IMAX scenes.
Oh, did they?
They just released that on HBO Max and I think Blu-ray as well.
Yeah,
but
apparently Mortal Kombat's going to have that release as well. That was like a tiny news tidbit that dropped today that I left out of it. But
and you can set
give it the option to that too.
Because I did watch it 2 different ways. With Devin, I watched it in the 4:3. With my father, I watched it zoomed so that it filled up the screen. And I didn't really miss much when it was zoomed. And if you can do this with your TV, turn the color off and turn the action smoothing on slow, like late at night. Watch it in black and white. It plays like a horror movie. It's so cool. Like, it's one of those things. But what I'm saying about with the characters, they've gotten so much less protective about their characters. There was a time where they would not let Batman appear in anything but a movie, whereas now you're getting Batman in multiple different TV shows, and there are multiple different versions of Batman. There's no reason Ben Affleck Batman can't be another one of those, and Batman's one of those shows that you can do on the cheap. Like, you don't have to go as cheap as like Superman Lois, which has a modest budget, but it still gets its point across. Like, it's very cinematic at times. You could double that show's budget and make a very cinematic Batman series.
Right. So I do want to say, we do got to remember Warner Brothers is owned by AT&T, who owns HBO Max.
Yes. Which I learned I might have HBO Max for free with my cell phone service.
Oh, there you go. You probably
did. I might not even had to. I may have gotten it 2 subscriptions because of the Snyder Cut.
True, you probably did. But, so with that being said, does Warner Brothers want to do a sequel? Hell no. They don't want to.
But they have to.
However, if let's say this gives AT&T not like 100 million subscribers, which I would imagine they're somewhat close because they morphed the people who had HBO on their cable service or who just had the HBO
now morphed into it, yeah.
So and then DC. No, I don't think the DC thing brought people in, but
no.
If
they didn't get an account, they just lost their shit.
Right, but if AT&T sees a big jump in subscribers, and let's say they stay on for a couple months, I think it's a strong possibility a sequel could be made for it.
This is why
HBO Max.
This is why I wanted to talk about the fallout of it, because one of the things that I think is a benefit of releasing it all in one day as a movie, as opposed to doing it 4 weeks, 4 episodes. You do it for 4 weeks, or you do it for one day. That's still just 1 month of HBO Max. Right. If that's all the person is subscribing for it, and releasing it in one day, they're more likely at that point to forget that they're subscribed. They're more likely to turn on HBO Max, watch the Snyder Cut a couple times, not go back to it, forget that they have it, and then it automatically bills it the next month's down. Whereas if it's
Right.
doing week, okay, fourth week is over, it's done. I'm unsubscribing to HBO Max now.
Right. And
Because
that
if
could
this was in
definitely be a
theaters, I
possibility.
wouldn't
Honestly,
have subscribed.
having seen the film now, I actually believe the reason they didn't do the miniseries is because, yes, they broke it up into chapters.
Yeah.
But one of the things I noticed because I did think about it and I sat back and I was like, okay, well, they said 4 episodes, there's 6 chapters. So
Mhm.
maybe let's say they did it in 6 episodes. Let's
Prologue
actually
and
review
epilogue.
each of these as like a 30,
Right.
40-minute bit. None of them are wholly satisfying. Like, none of the episodes have an arc that
Right.
like you could sit there for 40 you could sit there for 40 minutes and feel wholly satisfied at the end. And I think that's why they gutted that release. I think they just went, this is a film we can't see. Like, the only film I've ever seen serialized and done well is when Tarantino did The Hateful Eight, but Tarantino also completely recut and edited the film at points to make it
Right.
work.
And they
And I
sort of
just don't.
attempted it with Irishman as well.
Does The Irishman have another cut on Netflix that's broken up?
Yeah, there's a cut that's broken up in certain.
Oh, is there? Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, but I think it's shows and films are different, and I think you have to edit it. It's one thing to like chapter your film up and go, this is a sec, this is a sec, this is a sec. But that doesn't mean if you like, if you took chapter 1 for me, split it from the film and go like kind of like WandaVision, right? WandaVision was 30-minute blips that you got every single week. If you took that 37 minutes, blipped it, and said you get this for 1 week, I don't think that first episode is wholly satisfying at all. And I think that creates a potentially worse effect where maybe you have sections that are getting more negatively reviewed, whereas I think as a package as a whole where you're getting your payoff with the setup, it doesn't feel that way because you can go from one to the next right away.
Right. True. I do agree. I think it was smart for them not to do it in like a miniseries or whatever. However, if they were going to split it up, I think doing 2 parts or whatever, or 2 movies, could have potentially worked because, like, for example, my parents were watching it and whatnot. Like, they had to, just because it was, dragging for them, they were like, you know what, we're gonna turn this off. We'll go back later, and watch it. So I do feel that while I can understand why they didn't cut anything and whatnot, and I definitely agree with them not making a miniseries, I do think there's a way you could have made it work where you could do, a 2-part, I guess series or whatever. Because I guess he wanted to originally make it 2 movies anyway, or at least that's what I thought I heard. Unless I'm just like
this wasn't 2 films, but the Justice League arc was written with 2 films in mind.
They decided before originally the first I think they were gonna do it like I could be wrong, but I think they were gonna do it like Endgame did it, like the Matrix movies did it, where they were gonna have like one production and then make 2 movies back to back. And then before they started shooting, like after the fallout of BBS, before they even started shooting, we're at a Dutch angle now.
Yeah.
Before they even started shooting, they decided not to make it part 1 and part 2. Right, so that was something that they decided before they even started shooting. So the stuff that they had was just for a part 1, and he tried doing okay, I'm going to shoot all this footage. They're not going to let me release a 4-hour cut. Maybe they'll let me release a 3-hour cut, which is what they could have done with this if they wanted to. Yeah, and the reason why they didn't do it was because they didn't have to. It is split up into parts, so I think it is very accessible for people who do not want to watch a 4-hour movie. Because when I watched it with my father, we watched first 2 parts, and then the next day he came over, we watched the second 2 parts. Or not first 3 parts and then second
3 and
parts.
3 with the epilogue.
Yeah, 3 and 3. So it evened out into like a 1 hour 55, 1 hour 55.
Right. Like, there is enough for 2 movies here, but again, I think it's in the interest of, I don't think there's a point where you can chapter it because a certain storyline within the film is over, but no chapter is wholly resolution. I think if it was a case of so for example, this hasn't been widely marketed, but later this year, Netflix is doing this thing around Halloween where they got the rights to a book called Fear Street. I think if it's not written by R.L. Stine, it's like in R.L. Stine like, but they got the rights to Fear Street. They got the rights to all 3 books, filmed 3 movies, and it's 3 completely separate whole films that they're gonna drop.
They've already done it?
Like back. Yeah, they're gonna drop them around October, like for the.
They
Halloween
do that with animated
season.
stuff a lot.
And so, like, that's a different thing from, like, taking a film and splitting it into 2, because, yes, that's a trilogy, a 3-part series.
Yeah.
But it's 3 whole films with plots and resolutions and all that.
I think that's smart for them, too.
Yeah, and that's a smart business decision
do you
for
think
them, because it's good
ever,
marketing for 1 year.
But, like, the risk of it is saying, like, okay, well, and is it, like, as far as the movie goes, are the main characters, like, young, or they're, like, kids? You said R.L. Stine.
I can look up the cast.
If like, they're children actors, then there's a benefit there that you film 3 movies at the same time and they don't age out of the roles. I don't
know. I can look it up, though.
It's up to 2, like, the CGI stuff, but one of the risks of that is that if you want to do reshoots, and that is the case, it's harder to do reshoots. But if that's not the case, and it's kind of like young adult type things where they're going to be looking relatively the same, then as long as they don't Joss Whedon Justice League it, then they can go forward and, like, tweak things in between movies after feedback from the first one, if that's, like, their plan. Just hopefully not too much, because that's what we saw with Justice League the first time around.
None of these kids most of the kids in the film are not credible enough to have full-on IMDb or Wikipedia pages. But the only one that does is a kid that was from Nickelodeon, and he's 18 right now. So when they were filming, they were probably 16, 17.
So they'll probably end up doing what I just said. If the first one is unsuccessful, then maybe they'll go back and tweak it a little bit.
What's it called? If you guys watch Stranger Things, Sadie Sink is an actress from that show. She's in this. Yeah. Also 18 years old. So yeah, that's the age they're going for.
Yeah. But another point with, like, the way that their distribution plan is moving forward as far as these DC characters go is that, we have the Robert Pattinson, the Batman coming out, but not everybody is going to be into grungy emo Batman. But, like, I'm into that. That sounds really cool to me. But then there's somebody like my mother. She likes the Ben Affleck Batman. She wants to like further this Justice League story, Batman versus Superman.
I think that film will be more than just grungy emo Batman. I think that's just the images that are doing that justice.
It'll be a Batman movie for sure. It's just, I think that there is a way that you can, whereas Star Wars, I think one of their faults with some of their movies is they're trying to make Star Wars for everyone. Where DC, the way that they have the Elseworlds, the multiverse, there's a precedent for them having recast all these actors and stuff. You can actually have a Batman for everyone and just have it be separate things.
Right. So I do want to throw, because I was just kind of scrolling through Facebook and whatnot, and oddly enough, while we're talking about the Snyder Cut stuff and if we think a sequel can happen, all that stuff and whatnot, Zack Snyder did put out a quote, which I actually think it's kind of interesting, makes you think for a second, because he was asked if he thinks that a sequel could happen, and he just simply said, I always go, what's more likely, that Warner Brothers would ask me to make a sequel, or that they would resurrect the 3-year-old movie, spend millions of dollars to restore it to my original vision, and then release it. I think the sequel would have been more likely than what just happened. So
that's what I was saying to you, Aaron.
So
I mean, possibly, but they've already done the other one first. So
but the point being that if
one's more expensive than the other,
happened.
What's more likely?
That's my. But then again, and like I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it the way I was opposed to Snyder Cut. Like I could see why you would do it. My thing is like, and again, clearly Warner aren't thinking business-like, because I think a lot of decisions they've made in terms of their business deals and their personable relations with their talent have just not been fucking smart for their business at all.
Right.
But I mean, shit, if they want to throw $200 million into it and hope it works, kudos.
This is smart, because this is what I'm saying about protecting the brand. Maybe this movie is not going to make the money, but doing a Flash movie now, I bet you now, Flash movie cinematically released, it's going to make more money than it would have if this hadn't been released. People would not have been interested in that Flash as much as they would be now, just because of how stupid his lines were that they put in there in the Whedon cut, and how atrocious like the reshoots were. It was bad, guys. And don't watch it. Watch the Snyder cut. But the fallout, I think there is going to be fallout. I think they are going to continue, and I think their philosophy has changed. Look back at when they were doing like Justice League Mortal or Superman Flyby or even like Superman Lives. They'd get into like production on a movie and then scrap it without finishing a movie and never releasing anything. At this point, if they get into a situation like that where they're in a production of a movie and they don't like it, they're not going to scrap it. They're going to finish it. And then after that movie comes out, they're going to do something else. They're not afraid to take chances with these characters anymore because there's been so many iterations that at this point, if you get a bad version of it, like say if they do the J.J. Abrams Black Superman storyline, if it turns out not being a good movie, they don't have to do that again. And if it is a good movie, they can continue it. Same with the Snyder Cut. If it wasn't good, if people hated it, they don't have to do it anymore. They can just stop the Snyderverse. They said, look, we gave Zack Snyder what he deserved. Yeah. He got to finish his story, and now we're moving forward with the Robert Pattinson Batman with different things. But now you can go on different directions. There are different intersections on roads, people. There are many paths they can take. Take them all, because I'm just going to watch it all. I won't like it all because like I didn't like Joker. There's some stuff I won't like. But this, I love.
Right. And I do want to throw this out real quick because it's now about 32 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can get ready to move on.
So I do want to throw this out real quick. The way I'm looking at this, as far as if a sequel would happen and whatnot, is in the eyes of AT&T. I look at it in two different scenarios. One, whatever they say, Warner Brothers has to do, like no matter what. Warner Brothers, like they'll be forced to do it because they're owned by AT&T.
It'll be called AT&T Brothers by the end of the week.
Right, probably. Just like Michigan State changed their school name to Michigan State Spartans, presented by Rocket Mortgage. That is actually true.
Oh, they should have had it be Zack Snyder's Michigan State
legit.
Spartans. Right. Zack Snyder's Michigan State Spartans, 300 tie-in. Jerry Butler could be the mascot. Michael Fassbender coming in there.
There you go. But to get back into it, I look at it in two ways. One, AT&T sees us and they're seeing the positive response, all that stuff, and how I think they're seeing it in the non-HBO Go way or Max is, a lot of people really like this movie. Money. As long as he doesn't make it 4 hours long, make it 2:45 or whatever, we'll put money into a sequel, get in theaters. The other way I'm looking at it.
Though, but real quick, the money thing, the HBO Max, that gives you a platform for an extended edition that you didn't have before. So you can do your theatrically released 2.5 hour cut, and then Zack Snyder still gets to have his cake and eat it too, and do his 4 hour cut exclusively on HBO Max. He's one of those people that's not like Nolan. He doesn't have an ego that his thing has to be released in theaters once. Right.
And then the other way I look at it is AT&T wants as many people on HBO Max as possible. If this bumps their subscribers up a good amount, like let's say 20%, whatever, I don't know how much it's improved, then they might go, okay, we need to put more content on here. Granted, it's going to cost a lot of money, but as long as we can continue to have people on here, then we'll make the sequel, we'll make the third one. They don't have to necessarily take place in the current theatrical DC timeline because they've already said. And they could extend it too. Right, but DC they've already said everything.
Let's just be real.
Yeah, DC at the fandom thing, they said every single movie and TV show that has ever came out all exists in this one thing. They just take place in different worlds and whatnot. So, they could just pull something like that too. Because Ezra Miller was in the CW universe, so
that's where he gets his name.
Right, so he's not just in the movie world, but he was also technically in TV. Granted, not very long. But still,
he does tell Victor it's possible in this, in that, like the movie, like he does say that.
Right. But okay. That's all for me.
So
that's the transition.
I'm gonna go ahead and we'll get into the first topic of the show, official topic, I guess. But I just want to say I went down a rabbit hole while you guys were discussing Lara for a second. So apparently, this Fear Street thing was actually originally produced by a company called Chernin Entertainment in association, which actually they'll come up later in another story, but in association with 20th Century Fox. Fox was the one who made the call to produce all 3 of these films at the same time. And then when the pandemic happened, they sold them to Netflix, who came up with the idea of releasing them 1 month at a time.
So is it Fox or Disney 20th Century Pictures?
It originally began with Fox before they got bought.
Ooh, okay. So they were kind of screwing him there, I think.
But then no, it was for monetary sake. It was because they were going to release it the first one this year, and Netflix offered the money for all 3. But then the next thing is, as I was going down the rabbit hole of reading this, then on Chernin Entertainment's docket of films, I just realized apparently they are developing a 4th Planet of the Apes film that will be directed by and co-written by Wes Ball, the guy who did all 3 of the Maze Runner films. And the co-writer of the film is a guy named Josh Friedman, who's most known for being the head writer of the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Ooh, that is the best Terminator thing that they have put out in
such
years.
A weird line. But with that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and play the first video and intro the first topic.
Summer Glau. My God.
This week, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences announced their nominations for the 2021 Oscars ceremony. As usually happens most years, a lot of the big winners and multiple nominees also ended up getting nominations for the Best Picture category. The 8 films who led the nominations and received Best Picture noms include The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. While in discussion, and especially in this video, we're not going to go through every nominee and every category, for those who do want to hear an in-depth opinion from people on the panel, myself and Matt Beer did a reaction video the morning they were announced that you can check out. Following the nominations, as what usually happens, people go from positive to negative and begin focusing on the things that weren't nominated. And while the consensus is that for the most part the nominations were correct, after scouring multiple sites' opinions and the internet as a whole, I found a few items and nomination categories that people believed should have been there for discussion with the panel. Those include Da 5 Bloods, which many believe was snubbed for many of its major categories, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor for Delroy Lindo, and Best Supporting Actor for Chadwick Boseman, among others. The Little Things, which many people believe deserved a Best Supporting Actor nom for Jared Leto's performance. Malcolm and Marie, which many people believe deserved a Best Actress nomination for Zendaya's performance. One Night in Miami, which did receive a number of smaller nominations, including a Best Supporting Actor nom for Leslie Odom Jr., but many people believe deserved Best Picture and Best Director nominations. One Night in Miami, Palm Springs, not One Night in Miami again, but Palm Springs, which many people believe deserved an original screenplay nomination. Soul, which many people, like other previous successful animated films, believed was snubbed from bigger categories like Best Picture. And Tenet, which many people believe should have been nominated for Best Original Score for Ludwig Göransson's contribution. Another miss from the Oscars in the Best Original Song category was Billie Eilish's No Time to Die, the theme from the newest Bond film. Many people wondered why it wasn't nominated upon the announcement of the nominations, especially fresh off of winning a Grammy in the category of basically film themes. I don't remember the exact name, unfortunately. However, the Academy did come out and address this by saying that the song was not actually put into contention and is being withheld till No Time to Die actually releases. Many will remember that the song was released just before the film's original release date at last April. Unfortunately, due to COVID, the film was moved to a release date that's now later this year, meaning that the song has just kind of been out there. The Oscars, though it's a rule that's never been put into effect because generally moves like that don't happen, Oscars do not consider the songs in contention until the film they are a part of is released, meaning that it wasn't actually a snub, more so that it wasn't an option. Be sure to pay attention as Oscar coverage comes, and specifically on this channel, I'll be doing my best to see as many of the nominations as possible and give reviews.
Guys, I want to show you something. Look, it's the mind control machine.
And on that note, we had two panelists join us right before we went to the video, so I'll go ahead and intro them. Up first, he is a regular on the show. He is the co-host of Cancel This Show, the show that is begging to be ended. He is the one and only Dr. Spaceman, Mr. Alan Shepard.
Alan.
Aloha, guys. Good to see you guys. I'm driving home from work, but I couldn't miss being on because I love y'all, miss y'all, and desperately wanted to jump on here. And I was excited to talk about Justice League. If we talked about it already, I think you already did.
Yeah.
Let's keep talking, man.
Dang it. Because I just finished it last night.
Oh, good for you.
We have our spoiler talk tomorrow, so if you want in on that, absolutely the invite's there.
I want to be on that one. Cool. Right on. So, yeah, I'm happy to be here. Nice to see y'all.
And also joining us is a regular member of the live chat. Every once in a while we get him on the show. Mr. Chris Diaz joins us as well. How's it going, man?
Doing good. Also coming home for break, so good timing. Well,
Wow. Why are people working on Saturdays? I get it if you work at a movie theater.
Well,
But-
Alan's in a different time zone. Like, he's very much in the
True.
middle of the day.
It's
right?
and I
Wednesday
work
for
at
Alan.
a
It's
produce
Wednesday.
clerk for
I am in the middle of a week. Our weeks are different in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Are you in an Uber? or-
Tomorrow's Tuesday.
I
you in
just
an
came
Uber?
back from this guy's place.
Ooh.
They're
They're doing some production there?
On the Tuesday.
Well, the production's finished, so I don't think he's working on anything for them.
No, but they are filming outside of my office on Monday for a thing I can't say yet.
Ooh.
Trailer.
And I'm not going to be in it, which is unfortunate. But my animals are going to be in it.
Good for you.
I actually had to
Nice.
sign
That
a
was Devin.
contract
Devin
for
did
my
that.
llama.
Oh, you should have
Llama.
said, hey, my
I
llama
s-
can only be on there if I'm in there petting the llama.
Right? I should have put that in the llama's contract.
Yeah.
I saw a game the other day. It was a video game about the llama apocalypse, and it looked right down your alley.
Oh.
But Devin, you had a joke to make.
I'd be down with that.
All right.
That was a horrible.
video full screen.
Sorry.
What's the
Devin
joke?
looks like,
I
why
was
are
going
you
to-
going to me? Stop.
Why are you making me tell a joke?
Because it's a funny joke. You started, Devin. You tell it.
I just want to take this time to point out that we don't
Only funny
actually
if it
force
comes
Devin
up.
to be
Yeah,
here.
it's only funny if it comes up. Okay, so you did your so the first. Can you read that list of nominees for the Oscars?
The nominees, the nominees again.
Oh, yeah. So the films that received the Best Picture nomination
You started
were
with The Father.
The Son,
Father,
and the Holy Spirit.
Judas and the... Oh.
That's it.
Judas and the
Okay.
Black Messiah,
Well,
The
funny
Son.
enough, Judas and the Black Messiah follows. That gets pretty
Yeah.
close.
And then
Um,
after that, Ghost.
Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, The Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. Those are the 8, because the box office was not a thing in 2020, so those are the 8 films that we will look back on and remember from this year. Matt, I'll go to you. You were with me when we did the reaction. What are your thoughts on the Best Picture category or any other major category that stands out?
So, as far as Best Picture and the major ones, it was pretty by the numbers, what people would expect. I was kind of expecting Hamilton to get nominations because it's technically a movie by how they clarify and classify it. And
only the foreign
they are
press are that
allowing
dumb.
streaming movies to be nominated, so I was kind of surprised. And
Yes,
plus,
Michael.
Oscars on ABC owned by Disney Plus, Disney Plus. They missed out
It's
on
not
an
the People's
opportunity to
Choice
have-
Awards, Veer. They can't do that with the Oscars. They do that with the People's Choice Awards.
Look,
NCIS is always nominated because it's on CBS.
look, is everything 100% non-rigged? Probably not. So, maybe they go, we're going to
There's
put
a
it
reason
in
Mank got
movie
10
in there.
nominations.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
True.
I had something to say
Hollywood,
about that.
Hollywood filleting itself is what it loves. Go ahead, Chris. On that note, please go ahead.
Yeah.
You like jazz?
I will say that as much as I love Gary Oldman, and I love Gary Oldman, he should have not been nominated for Best Actor. It should have been Delroy Lindo for Best Actor
It should have been.
nomination.
Probably, yeah.
Or
I have to look at the list. I don't know who I'd take out. I have to look at it real quickly. But
And Gary
I
Oldman was
agree.
good in Mank. It's just like there's so many better performers than him that year. Like,
Yeah, Delroy should have been there.
Yeah.
Let me see who I'd take.
Wow.
Because that's the thing. I hate when people just go like, oh, somebody should have been nominated. All right, well, who are you taking out?
True.
Okay, so not judging the movies I haven't seen yet.
Wait, what did you just say? Aaron, what did
I
you just say?
I said, so one of my pet peeves with the nominations for the Oscar is every year people like scream snubs and be like, this should have been nominated. But I hate when I ask them, well, what do you think should be there? What are you taking out for that nomination? They never have an answer. I thought you wanted to hear what I had to say. I was just being let
No, he just wanted to do the John Cena thing.
That's what I wanted to do.
He missed the cue, so he was like, let me get him back around again. You know,
Yep.
Alan, what do you think?
The only thing I saw was Judas and the Black Messiah. It's a great film. I love it.
Great film.
I hope, did Shaka King get director for that?
He did not, no.
Oh, shit. That's what it should have, because it's superbly directed.
So much, don't you?
Honestly, my two frontrunners for Best Picture right now, in my opinion, and I haven't seen all of them yet, are The Father and Judas and the Black Messiah. The fact that neither Florian Zeller or Shaka King got nominated, but David Fincher did for Mank, is a shame.
Yeah.
Mank is a great film. It deserves a lot of its other nominations, including Best Picture, I would say, quite frankly. But no, he shouldn't have been for Best Director.
Yeah.
Where was
on a somewhat related note,
where was the Russo brothers and Tom Holland? Any movie that has a camera shot from the inside of Tom Holland's asshole deserves to be nominated for Best Director.
Can we talk about this? Was it a colonoscopy or something?
It was a colonoscopy scene, and it's taken from the
and
inside
he actually
of his
got
asshole.
a colonoscopy.
Yes. I'm telling you right now, I thought I was going back to like the 1800s, going under the tunnel with the slaves as they were being freed.
All right,
it looked like that type of thing.
This is not cancel this show.
No, seriously, Tom Holland gets sued the Russo brothers for sexual harassment. I mean, you should not be giving a young man a colonoscopy.
Tom Holland probably consented.
In a movie.
No,
but here's what I'm saying. It's like,
as somebody who's had a colonoscopy.
But Tom Holland is a child in most senses.
But he's going to.
It's one of those things where it's you. If you're actually having sex on camera, it's pornography. If you have a sex scene in a movie where there's no actual happening, then it's film. You hear what I'm saying? You don't actually have to do that on camera to get the same effect. That seems a little extreme, don't you think?
Maybe Tom wanted a colonoscopy. I mean, if we're talking about unfortunate circumstances,
you need to clarify
a close
something
friend
other
of
than
his.
Tom Holland's colon.
So I want to clarify something. Believe it or not, Nikki,
Fake news.
the shot, because you see the doctor looking inside because he's going to the military. He's got to do some health stuff. So, you know.
Strange?
Fun fact, they did not put a camera inside of his ass and then have that shot. They didn't do that. However,
What did they do?
They
that is called
CGI'd his anus.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a camera. You can watch it as it's happening.
There was a bunch of raisins basically smashed into like this pipe, and they're like that. That's what it looked like.
Did they push anything?
Let's focus on films that are good enough to be nominated.
There should have been nominated because
if they pushed anything into Tom Holland's butt, that's a lawsuit.
So
Matt Beer's on a roll tonight.
So I'm telling you right now as I mute you. Tom Holland should have been nominated for Best Actor because that movie, if he was not as great as he was in there, would have been almost the excuse of using a suicide note. It was god-awful. It was terrible. Tom Holland was so good in that movie. It made me go, look, this movie is hot garbage, but hey, at least I don't want to die.
Oh, you thought it was hot?
I heard him and the girl were the only reasons to watch it.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I'm gonna watch eventually. It's on my list. I am gonna see it, but yeah.
Aaron,
I would say if it was a better movie, maybe he would be considered for Best Actor. But the movie was so bad, he could have given the greatest performance of all time. He would not have been nominated.
I would say that first.
So those pictures that you showed, There was one with Zendaya. Was that John David Washington?
Malcolm and Marie. Yes, that's a Netflix film.
Yeah.
What the hell? That was. Can you pull that picture up again, possibly, or is that not possible?
I can. Give me a second. I can go get it. Yeah.
It's a very sexy picture, but not to like turn my head.
Film.
What's the movie about?
A failing relationship.
Yeah, so he's an auteur director. Here it is. So he's an auteur director, and she's his girlfriend, and essentially they just got back from the premiere of a film, and he's waiting on the reviews to come in, and the entire film is just this extended argument of them discussing facets of their relationship and how their relationship relates to his art and his film, because I guess in his speech he doesn't thank her, and that's what sets it off.
If you put like a Gucci logo or like an Eternity logo, that's a perfume ad right there.
Yep.
Like Gucci or Eternity.
The whole movie is literally just them two, and it's directed by, I forget his name, but I know he's Sam Levinson. That's his name. He's Barry Levinson's son.
That's just a very good still. It's just a very sultry picture. Like we get the good image.
I do my research to try and find pictures.
And it's not tasteless either. It's like not one of those like almost pornographic. Like that's a very like tasteful. Like you could do sexy without being gratuitous. And that's what I thought.
I'm gonna jump off and then jump on again when I get home. Which is in
jump
about 10 minutes.
That picture. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I'm not judging.
I'm gonna jump off to that picture for sure. All right. I'll see you soon.
Alright.
No.
So I want to get into. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
For someone who's seen all the best pictures I've seen pretty much all of them. I'm rooting for.
Oh, good for you!
I think Nomadland will win, but I am really rooting for Minari. Minari is one of the movies that I heard about, I watched it, and I fell in love with it every minute. So my second best, one of the best foreign language film I've seen in a while.
Right. So what I think, how it's going to happen,
it is technically not a foreign language film.
Yeah.
It technically does not count.
Yeah.
Right. So how I think it's going to play out.
Round.
Right. No, I would say Nomadland would be the front runner, but then again, I'm just kind of thinking about other years and whatnot. I think it's going to be Minari that wins Best Picture, but I do think Chloe Zhao wins for directing.
Possibly.
That's how I see it playing out.
I am rooting also for. I think as much as I love what Fatima McDormand for Nomadland, and she did a great job. I'm secretly rooting for Carey Mulligan to win for Best Actress.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's Carey's to lose. I think Frances has won twice. Yeah. I think, and I haven't seen Nomadland. I think she'd probably be a close second, but I think it's Carey's to lose.
She was so good in the movie.
We were talking about The Father last night. You were telling me about that movie.
Yes. Yeah. That, honestly, if I'm going off my heart, that's my front runner to win Best Picture. I think it is, and I haven't seen all of them, admittedly, so I'll wait until I see all of them. I think right now it is the best film of last year, but I've often found with the Oscars, it is a politics game. What my heart says often isn't what wins, and I can accept that as long as it's up there, I'm cool with it.
Andy Hopkins is really good in the movie. I think it's Chadwick Boseman award to lose.
Yeah. If Chadwick Boseman hadn't passed, and this is terrible to say, but I think if Chadwick Boseman was alive, this is a two-horse race between Boseman and Hopkins, and I think Hopkins takes it. I think it's because Boseman passed, he will get it because there will literally never be another opportunity to nominate him. Whereas Anthony Hopkins is still an actively working actor, he will have one more shot.
Right. I still can't believe
it's
that.
The same thing with a performance that I love. That also is the stock her. Actually, with the Mad was amazing sound metal, and see anybody to pull up that could be him. Well,
and it's one of those things with Boseman. I literally there are times during the week that I forget he died. And then it just hits me, and I'm like, what the hell? Like I look at the posters, the toys. He's everywhere. And if he was a giant, like that is a giant amongst men. I think he needs to win the Oscar. And you're right. Sometimes they'll do that. Sometimes they'll do 30 years later the Lifetime Achievement Award. But his time was now. That's the thing about this. His time was now.
Plus, Hopkins has been.
I think this will be his award because unfortunately, like, and again, it's because of his passing. I don't think Boseman has a filmography that dignifies 20 years down the road him getting a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Because he was gone too soon.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Yeah. But, thankfully, and honestly, the only other way I could have seen Hopkins winning it is if Chadwick had gotten nominated for Da 5 Bloods, which I think will play into his win because he was brilliant in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's unfortunate that he passed, because I think if he hadn't, these two performances showed me more than anything that more than I had ever thought. Because for years, Chadwick was the guy who was really, really good in okay films. Get On Up, 42, Marshall. Even in bad films, he was the best part. He's the only thing that made 21 Bridges bearable. He was the most entertaining part of Gods
you didn't
of
like
Egypt.
that?
I did not. No, I hated that film. It was my least favorite of that year. I thought it was
I thought, that's extreme.
From the ground up, I just thought it was amateurly made.
It's on the lighter side.
It's better than Cherry.
I lost it when they have her answer the phone, but the movement of the phone lights up the background of an Apple screen, and she's clearly not on the phone. Like, I'm like, that's just so amateurish that it's like, how did you miss that?
I liked it when Dr. Bashir from Deep Space Nine showed up.
I don't know which one he is.
He was he was Ra's al Ghul on Gotham too. Like he's the guy that has like the safe house. Like he has the safe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember much of that film. I remember watching it and thinking, Chadwick deserves better than this. Stephen James deserves better than this. And goddamn, Taylor Kitsch needs to fire his fucking agent. Because man.
Taylor Kitsch was in that?
Taylor Kitsch was the white guy of the two bad guys.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice that.
He looked like
he does. Taylor Kitsch was horrible in that
movie.
But
Taylor Kitsch needs a better agent.
He needs a better agent because he's one of the most talented guys out there.
Yeah, he's good.
Like, I argue that he was the only variable thing in True Detective Season 2.
And he was probably the best part of Wolverine Origins.
Wolverine Origins 2, that's the Gambit movie I wanted to see. I don't want, like, this Channing Tatum Gambit always sounded gimmicky, but Taylor Kitsch Gambit, you could do something with that. You could go deep and roll.
Not Battleground. What's it called? Battleship was
Battleship,
shit.
yeah, that's dead, too.
Yeah, he's had a few.
Bad Agent, one of those things.
Sorry.
Do you think it's one of those like Heath Ledger situations though, or do you think because the thing with Heath Ledger, I think that's even more of an extreme because it was a comic book movie. It was a great performance. It was a comic book movie, and he still won Best Supporting Actor the year that he passed. With Chadwick, it's a very different Academy now than it was back then.
And this has always been my opinion. I don't think I legitimately believe that if Heath hadn't passed away, he wouldn't have won an Oscar. I think Heath was always good enough to get up there, and I think whether it's you're talking about the lighter rom-coms like 10 Things I Hate About You, he gives a great performance in what is a light film, or we're going to something like Brokeback Mountain. I think he legitimately had the chops to get there. I think the Joker probably would have been nominated, but I honestly do not believe he would have won had he not passed. I think this would have been a two-horse race between Chadwick and Anthony anyways, because I think Boseman is single-handedly the best thing about Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. He is.
And they're both beloved actors. Like both of those people, like they have that title
in that moment,
before like the news story. Beloved actors. Like beloved actor Heath Ledger, beloved actor Chadwick.
I mean, Viola Davis was also good, and I forget the one that played.
She was
beloved actor Viola Davis.
No, and to be fair, Viola Davis and Coleman Domingo were also both very good in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, but that was Chadwick's film.
Like, she has a very good agent.
He's the one with the monologues. He's the one with all the emotion. He's the one with the tragic ending. It's his film. More than it is Ma Rainey.
Viola Davis though can make a house out of shit. She can do.
And she's good.
Wrong.
She's good. Don't get me wrong. She's good.
Widows, a movie like that like it's not the best movie in the world.
That had
she's
Steve
good in
McQueen
it
at the helm.
Yeah, and like she
That's such a weird
kisses Liam Neeson in that movie like there's no tomorrow.
Wouldn't you? He's an Irish national treasure.
Kiss Liam Neeson like there's no tomorrow?
Yes.
Someone explain to
I mean, he's Ra's al Ghul and Qui-Gon Jinn, so if that's what he asked me to do, I'd say yes, Master. But I wouldn't be happy about it. It's not a fantasy of mine, I'd say. But
before we move on from the Oscars, go ahead and get your last point in, Chris.
Why did Glenn Close get nominated for Billy LG? Like that was like the one.
Because the same reason that Meryl Streep got nominated for Into the Woods. They probably didn't have enough to make up it, and she's a classic actress who delivered a fine performance in that film.
In a great scream.
And I thought
that is Meryl. No, that's Meryl Streep.
Okay.
Over the actor from Judas the Black Messiah, who gave a much better performance. I forget the actress.
Say it for me again.
The actress for Judas the Black Messiah were putting over her, the one that played.
Dominique Fishback.
Yeah.
I thought she was fine. I didn't think she was Oscar worthy, quite frankly. And in that case, it's always going to be the legendary actress over the newcomer.
So we just created a meme. Say her name again.
Dominique Fishback.
So you can have a picture of her from the back, Dominique Fishback, and then a picture of her from the front, Dominique Fish front.
There you
go. That's the last thing I want to bring up, and we talked about it on our Oscar thing, so I won't rail into it too deep. But can we talk about how the funniest fuck up in a long time from the Oscars is how the two leading men from Judas and the Black Messiah both ended up in the supporting actor category? And to me, the exemplification of that was when Lakeith Stanfield then went on social media and went, I don't know how the fuck this happened, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
And forgive me if I'm wrong, but haven't they had in the past best lead actor and had two actors from the same movie in the cat? They have. So they were nominated, or was mistakenly read?
No. They were nominated together in supporting actor.
Do you think
the studio campaigned both its lead actors. Like I understood why they did Kaluuya in supporting, but I always believed it was like they were campaigning
they did that for
Kaluuya.
Endgame too.
They were campaigning Kaluuya for this was kind of like Christian Bale with The Fighter. They're campaigning Kaluuya for supporting because they think he'll dominate that, which he does. Win. He'll dominate that. And then, but like, again, you have the temple of Chadwick to climb if you go for best. So stick the one who's still great but not quite as good in that category. I don't know why they put them both.
Do you think it's a political thing?
No, I think legitimately
like a PR thing, not political. PR is different than political.
I think that's such a weird PR move. I mean, maybe it draws eyes on the film. It makes you go, they both got nominated, but how? And
maybe they didn't feel like they deserved to both be in Best Actor, but we'll give them Best Supporting Actor. Like kind of like when the Globes does Best Comedy for a movie that's clearly a drama.
So the way that works with the Oscars is you have to campaign your actor for a specific category. So the reason they both ended up there is because they both got campaigned for supporting.
So I thought these Oscar campaigns were...
No, you dignify who you're going for. You dignify what you're going for.
I didn't think... I thought those were like optional.
No,
but you actually have to... It's like running for president. You have to declare... You're running for an Oscar?
They figure out who's in the acting branch of the Academy, and they'll send out screeners of the film that's like for your consideration, and they'll for your consideration, this person for this category, this person for this category, this person for this category.
If that's a prerequisite, doesn't that kind of sully it? Like doesn't that kind of, hey Sully? Doesn't that kind of because I think it does, because it's like. It's so much ass kissery. Like, what if a movie hadn't done that? Would they still have a chance to be nominated?
I mean, I'm sure, but it's done. Awful. It's done because think about it. The acting branch is made up of actors who are consistently working. How many of them are going to get a chance to go see enough films in a year?
And maybe that's kind of a problem with the Oscars, because even though like these movies are smaller films, like they're not the big budget films, they're still the big budget actors that are getting nominated for the most part. And I just, for some reason, I don't like how they have to like campaign for Oscars. I think they should just let like the movies speak for themselves. Like if they hadn't done that for your consideration thing, then Do you think so? This is what I'm asking.
So,
do you think if they hadn't done that, would different movies be nominated?
It's an impossible question for me to answer to you.
It's hypothetical. I'm sorry, I don't like hypothetical.
It's an impossible question for me to answer because the whole reason the four-year consideration system exists is because the Oscar voting board, and this is throughout the industry, so you have a director's branch, a cinematographer's branch, you have everything. It's made up of professionals in the industry. The problem is, by way of these professionals consistently working within the industry, they often don't have a lot of time to enjoy the movies from the industry. And so the problem is...
They get sent out screeners for certain movies. Okay,
right, and so I think that it creates an interesting dichotomy because I think there's a distinction between what's fun and what's great. So, like, for example, I'll go with a film that I know you enjoyed, Bad Boys for Life. Let's say they all went and saw Bad Boys for Life because that looks like fun. I like Bad Boys for Life. It's in my top 20. It's nowhere near good enough to be an Oscar consideration. But the problem is, if that's all anybody saw, then it's going to get it by default for certain things. But like acting, directing, shit like that, it's not.
But that's what I'm saying, though. There's a lot of people in the Academy, and I hear your point now. But some of them are even like that, like where they'll see one of the nominated movies and just vote for the one they saw.
Every once in a while, you'll get a surprise like that. Like, he's nominated this year, so I'll throw it out as an example. Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out. No one expected him to get nominated. That was a surprise.
Did they campaign for it?
I don't know if they did. If it wasn't major.
All right. No,
like
I'm sorry I brought it up if there's zero interest.
And I don't know the complete ins and outs of it. I just know what I've been able to find through research. So I may not have it all correct, but I know enough that like.
Because I just think that
it's an interesting
that culture is why we're people think like, okay, well, why aren't the biggest movies of the year ever nominated for Oscar? It's a different type of movie. It's almost a completely different genre of movie,
and that's why you've started seeing bigger studios throwing out four-year considerations for bigger films. Like last year, Marvel, and obviously they got it in some categories, but Marvel legitimately campaigned four-year considerations. Black Panther got nominated because they legitimately did four-year considerations for different things. And so I think that's why you're going to see it happen more and more. And I also think as the rough Academy age changes, and it's awful to say, but as people start dying out and the younger generation becomes the norm within the Academy, I think you will start to see a sort of gradual shift. I just think it's something that's going to have to come over time. But also, and I think it's a simple fact of sometimes the small indie shit just is the best. Like, I love The Father. The Father is a film that in no circumstance is ever going to receive a countrywide release.
And don't put marketing into that movie, and the marketing budget for that movie probably goes into the four-year consideration, like Oscar push.
Hey guys, there's a call on my computer.
You're good.
Okay, I'm consistent across the board on this, though, where I just think that movies should speak for themselves. I don't ever like it when somebody says after they see a movie, well, the director said in an interview that this, and this. I think the movie should speak for itself when you're watching the movie. The movie has to be like the story within the movie. That's totally fair. And it applies to like the Oscar thing. I just think it seems like it so drastically shifts what movies would be nominated. But at the same time, I also understand it because those indie movies, that's what's important to them.
If it makes you feel any better, the four-year consideration campaigns, the people who are voting are very rarely encouraged to look at interviews and after film discussions. It is often all very much based on the film itself.
Oh yeah, no, that was more just for my enjoyment of a film.
They'll be sent a list, and it's like, this is a potential nominee. So like, for example, like I'll use Judas and the Black Messiah as an example. So like, actually, I'll go with The Father because it's got a smaller cast, right? So they sent out The Father, and I assume with that film they were campaigning for all assets of the Academy. So it's four-year consideration: Best Picture, Best Director, Florian Zeller; Best Screenplay, Florian Zeller; Best Actor, Anthony Hopkins; Best Supporting Actress, Olivia Williams, Olivia Colman, Imogen Poots; Best Supporting Actor, Mark Wahlberg. They probably stuck all of them on there, and who got nominated, got nominated. But with that being said, guys, I think we've worked through most of it. So let's step away from my love of independent film and move into something that everybody else loves. And I hate doing every week. It's the Marvel News Roundup. Let's get into it. We begin our weekly Marvel News Roundup by beginning with an interview from director Tim Story, who many people may know as the director of the first two Fantastic Four films. This week, while doing an interview for his most recent release, Tom and Jerry, Story was asked about his thoughts on Fantastic Four being rebooted again with director John Watts at the helm. Story stated that he was excited to see Watts' take on the film, and that depending on where the film goes, Story stated he was excited to see things that he couldn't do in terms of the visuals of the film done properly, like making Reed Richards' stretching look realistic and being able to properly do Galactus justice, rather than the cloud of smoke we saw in Rise of the Silver Surfer. Story elaborated, saying that this move was done with his film due to the creatives at Fox feeling the real look of Galactus couldn't be done properly, and it is something that, looking back on, he's not proud of. He finished up the interview and gave Watts a wish of good luck, something I think we're all giving him in the hopes to finally get a good film. In the build-up to the launch of Marvel's newest show, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, fans are already going nuts, and creatives are trying to temper expectations. In a statement that sounded a lot like Max Chapman's recent comments for WandaVision, writer and showrunner Malcolm Spellman said this week ahead of the show's airing that fans should not run away with predictions. He followed up by saying that the show is a straightforward story that you'll begin to mostly understand by the end of the first episode. There won't be any crazy deep twists or surprise characters, so focus on the ride and not the future. Similarly, the director of the series, Kari Skogland, was asked about Season 2 ahead of the first episode. Skogland said that while she'd be excited to come back for a Season 2, they completed the story of the show in one season, and that a second season, like with WandaVision, would have to be a totally new story that used these characters. So as of now, there's no plans for the further than these 6 episodes. Moving into actual proper news, this week, fresh off his role as Malcolm X in One Night in Miami, Kingsley Ben-Adir was announced to be joining the upcoming MCU show's Secret Invasion, alongside leads Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn. Ben-Adir was announced to be playing the antagonist of the show, although it's unknown what his specific character is. Speaking of casting, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness confirmed that first film co-star Chiwetel Ejiofor is on set for shooting of the sequel, which is currently happening in London. While it would have been assumed by fans that Baron Mordo was involved with all the new plot elements that have been put into the film, it might have been possible that cliffhanger was left out, as he had not been previously discussed nor confirmed for the film. However, Ejiofor put that to bed when he confirmed that he is in fact on set and shooting. Got a little bit ahead of myself there. WandaVision writer Jack Schaefer was asked this week about one of the small possible multiverse theories from the show. While Evan Peters' Quicksilver, or Ralph Bohner, wasn't a universe crossover, the appearance of the Darkhold could be seen as one, as it's appeared in other Marvel properties like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or The Runaways. When asked for comment, Schaefer said that due to the history of the book being a Nexus item, which if my research is correct means that it's an item or character that is the same in all realities, fans could view the Darkhold as the same one in other shows if they like. But she herself did not look at how other places interpreted it, and she said it probably will not affect the use of the Darkhold going forward. And finally, moving over from the MCU to the Spunk, still the dumbest name for a universe yet, Venom Let There Be Carnage has finally moved from its original June release date to a new September 23rd, 2021 release date. This comes after Sony had previously moved their entire film slate minus this one film. They left it in June in the hopes that they would be able to release it, and though it is looking likely that they could have released it in June, with other studios bumping films up into the summer season, this move could be Sony wanting to take advantage of a more open fall season, during which the first Venom did release, and aid to the box office of the second entry in their Spunk franchise.
So you said two stories there that kind of really connect for me. And they're the Darkhold story and the fan expectation story.
Yes, please.
Though I don't think I'm one of those people that says that the creators
with both of those, I'm just reading the quotes, by the way.
I hear what you're saying. So. I think that because that director, I think it's one of those things where he's saying what he wants to say. He may be saying what Feige wants him to say, the PR people, want him to say. But it's like what Beer was saying with the AT&T thing before in Warner Brothers. Disney higher up, they're the ones making the decision for the release schedule. And the release schedule encourages speculation. They want that. If they didn't want that, they would be releasing it in the whole day. Now, how that connects to the Darkhold storyline is that that's one of those things I said a couple weeks ago. It looks different than the Darkhold in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's a Nexus book. It's a Nexus thing. There's only one Hell. There's only one Mephisto. And like the book changing forms is something did on the show. It validates what I said a few weeks ago. Now, I'm not one of those people that needs my opinion validated, but when it happens, it's nice. When it doesn't happen, I don't let that affect my viewing of the show. Some of the things in WandaVision didn't happen like I thought they did, but I really enjoyed what did happen because I'm there at that point. And Disney knows you're there at that point. When it comes to the last episode of that season, they don't need you to come back the next week. So like that last episode, I think is usually going to be a disappointment as far as like one of those things like with the Luke Skywalker and the Mandalorian thing. That set the bar. And it kind of hurts Disney Plus in the fact that they didn't have any other shows really on Disney Plus, not like high profile shows. So as soon as we saw that, people are expecting that. Yeah.
I've said it as a joke, obviously, but it's the damn truth. They launched Disney Plus with like 4 shows and 2 movies, and it was essentially The Mandalorian and then High School Musical was the next
and the
highest profile thing.
Was the documentary about the Mandalorian.
Right. So it's like, you know,
and Spunk?
Certainly, huh?
Spunk.
Spunk.
Giggity.
Oh,
is that like a barf thing?
No, that is the Sony Pictures
called
universe.
My universe.
Sony Pictures
Spunk.
universe.
Sony
of Marvel
Pictures
characters.
universe of Marvel characters, or Spunk. I love it, so I say it as much as I can when it comes up because it's fucking horrendous.
So we're getting
like Spunky.
3 months before Spider-Man. The other Spider-Man. Oh God.
He's got spunk, kid.
The next thing they got to do is rename the MCU to the Cinematic Universe of Marvel.
Yeah, the coalition to restore the Marvel characters or something like that. But
I will say that someone.
Damn it, Devin! Damn it! I heard that.
As someone who's seen One Night in Miami,
oh God!
I love the casting of Aaron. How do you say his name? Vadim, the guy that did cast in Secret Invasion.
Minamasu.
I don't think he's really there right now.
He's gone.
But we were talking about Spunk.
I'm dealing with something off screen. I'll be back in just a second.
I need to get that soundbite just because of that. The name of the universe of Snoke and The Last Jedi. A great or horrible movie depending on your opinion. When like Rey attacks, it's just such spunk. Whatever you think of that movie, I love that line.
Yeah, so Vadim Madir, I'm not tell you pronounce his name because it will come out one. He is a really good actor. I think he's a great addition to Secret Invasion. He was phenomenal in One Night in Miami and Malcolm S. And he should have got a nomination, honestly, but Tammy Wood.
Right. Wow. I've only seen a little bit of One Night in Miami, but it is good. I would have to look up an image of the guy.
Regina King, right?
Huh?
Regina King directed that?
Yes.
Very curious to see that.
Right. But no. You know.
And not without going to spoil a bit, Falcon and Children. I'm interested to see where the show go. I'm happy they not make us think that there'd be a secret cameo. They just came out and said, you know, it's a show about show.
Right.
I don't worry that they have the budget because without giving much away, the opening action sequence probably one of the best action sequences I've seen in Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're kind of avoiding talking about like the content of the show right now.
Mm-hmm.
For what?
Like it's on here.
Yeah.
We have our spoiler review like last night. Some people Disney Plus like I don't want people bitching us about spoiler. But if they do, that's okay. I mean, don't watch this, watch that.
Interaction is key.
But like and subscribe.
Like a cult.
Like, subscribe, comment, and say that I'm terrible at everything.
I mean, you're not terrible at everything.
No, I'm not, but it's interaction anyway. If you can't say something nice to me, say something mean.
That is how you should raise your kids, Nikki.
Yeah.
Giggity.
You think I'm gonna have kids? That's optimistic.
Hey man, everything can happen. No, so
Oh God.
I was hearing what you guys were saying off screen while I was dealing with it, and yeah, I haven't seen One Night in Miami. But funny enough, we just talked about how Disney Plus launched with 2 films and 4 shows. One of those unfortunate films was a movie called Noelle, which unfortunately was not just a funny segment from AMC Movie Talk a few years ago. It is a real film in which Anna Kendrick, Bill Hader, and Billy Eichner, of all people...
What's worse, that or Fred Claus?
Oh, that's worse. Fred Claus, I think, has at least funny moments in it.
Wow.
Like, so, like, Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader, for me, get no laughs. Billy Eichner, I find funny only because the concept is funny. He's, like,
Best
Santa's
part of Lion King.
Oh, he's great in that, too. But he's, like, he's Santa's nephew in this, and because, like, the son and daughter both leave the North Pole, he's temporarily in charge of Christmas. But this dude's, like, Geek Squad from Best Buy, so he's like, yeah, we'll just have Santa deliver by Amazon drones and shit. Like, it's the best, it's the funniest... But the point I was getting at with that is, in that film, Anna Kendrick's love interest was the first exposure I ever got to this actor, Kingsley Ben-Adir. And the first thing I said was, wow, that guy looks a lot like Drake. But once I got past that, I thought he was fine. He was probably the second best part of the film because his performance was solid enough. He wasn't going for the goofy laughs shit. He was just there in the film.
How does this relate to the Marvel news?
Because that's the actor that got cast in Secret
He the villain in Secret Invasion.
Oh, Secret Invasion. Okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. So I've heard
Aaron,
he's great as Malcolm X. I have not seen the film yet.
In other Aaron news, though, Alan, I know you're there, but in other Aaron news, have you guys seen those commercials, those Xbox commercials with Falcon, where he's with Aaron from the Winter Soldier that recognizes Steve and Natasha in the mall? Like, there's been a few of those, and I think those are kind of funny.
He lost some weight.
Yeah, he did. He did.
What's happening?
There's those
we're on the
Xbox
Marvel
commercials.
news. You missed like a 5-minute video. We're on Marvel News.
Yeah.
We're on Marvel News.
Marvel.
All right. Yay, Marvel. Booyah. What part of Marvel News we talking about?
Alan.
I mean, we could talk about anything. I mean, I just want to say it doesn't make up for the movie, but one of the reasons I included Tim Story's interview is because it's very rare you hear a filmmaker openly admit that they knew they were fucking up going into a film.
Yeah.
Which I kind of respect on some level. Like, he straight up was just like, look, they told me I had to do it. I knew it was going to suck, but we did it anyways.
Those movies never pretended to be anything else.
Well, specifically, so to give context, he was asked about his opinion on the upcoming film from John Watts, the reboot, and he said that he's excited because he thinks with this version they'll be able to do things technology-wise that he was never able to do at his films. And one of the things that got brought up was the Galactus fart cloud, and he elaborated on it, basically saying, I got forced into that by the studio because they didn't believe that we could do Galactus right as accurate to the comics. So it was just kind of we got forced into doing that. And he basically straight up admitted that he knows it sucks. Like, it's something he regrets.
I'll be honest with you. I really like both of those Fantastic Four films because I took them at face value. I loved them. I thought they were a lot of fun. I really liked. Exactly. They never pretended to be anything else. And you gotta give some love to the fact that we're talking about. They took a lot of risk bringing Silver Surfer to the damn screen. I mean, one of the most obscure characters ever. Yeah, and I thought they did it well. I liked Lawrence Fishburne's voice.
Yeah,
I thought it was well done. I actually really enjoyed that movie. The Galactus Cloud, could have been better. Sure, could have been a different representation. But for what they were trying to do, I thought it was great, man. I really enjoy both of those films, and particularly Rise of the Silver Surfer. That's one I'll watch every now and then just because I really enjoy it. I actually like it a lot.
I think Silver Surfer is an improvement over the first. I do think they're both better than Fant Four Stick.
Yep.
They're definitely both better than that film. But I would say the first half hour of Fant Four Stick is better than both of those films. I still contend the first half hour of that film is not a bad movie.
I don't remember it at all because I fell asleep multiple times.
Everything before 1 year later shows up and the reshoots start kicking in. Everything before that's fine.
Right.
In my opinion. Maybe the only thing that got to me where, and it wasn't like I hated it, it was just a cringe moment, was like when his brother's beating him and he just goes, "It's clobbering time!" Like, oh,
Clobbering time, yeah.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
They got to.
Okay.
The one thing I will say, I am looking forward to
The new one?
a really well done Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom's always been one of my favorite characters, my favorite villains. And I didn't like the way Doctor Doom was. I mean, he was fine in the two other Fantastic Four films.
Nip Tuck guy.
Yeah, Nip Tuck guy.
McMahon?
Julian something.
Not McMahon.
McMahon.
Something
yeah,
else.
That is it.
Yeah, McMahon. Julian McMahon. I really like Doctor Doom a whole lot, so I hope that we get a really good portrayal, representation of Doctor Doom. That's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Right.
And that's sad because, like, I hate Van Forster and to get Kobe Kebbell, who now again to give a good villain performance at Cobra in Planet of the Apes. Well,
He has great performance.
Yeah, he was great in Planet of the Apes, but that was it.
Speaking of
Because he was an ape.
Speaking of Taylor Kitsch, Toby Kebbell's another actor that needs to get himself a better agent. He's in way too much crap for his own good.
Yes, he is. All right, so what's the other Marvel news besides that one? What was another one I missed?
Let me get it up so I can actually run one of them.
The guy who played Malcolm X.
That's on your own time, brother.
The guy who played Malcolm X in One Night in Miami.
You said, let me get it up. I said, hey, that's on your time, brother.
The article.
You walked right into that.
So Chris is right. Kingsley Benadir, the actor who recently portrayed Malcolm X in One Night in Miami, was cast as the main antagonist in Secret Invasion alongside Sam Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn. It's not known who he'll be playing. They've just said he is the antagonist.
Okay, interesting.
Sure. He's a solid actor from what I've seen.
You know what they need to do? And they've been needing to do this for a while. They needed to do this a long, long time ago. A big part of Secret Invasion was Spider-Woman in the comics. Spider-Woman was always Jessica Drew, one of my favorite characters, and I was really looking forward when they started talking about, maybe doing New Avengers after Endgame and all this stuff. I thought they got to bring in Spider-Woman. They really got to bring in Jessica Drew, and I don't know why. I haven't read anything about why they haven't. I don't know if it's a rights issue or whatever it is, but I really think they should bring that character in because I really, really like that character a lot.
Right.
That's all I'll say about that.
So I have a question for you guys. And we got one to do. With them pushing Venom back, you think they did push back Spider-Man to next year or keep it in December?
No, I think that's staying.
If you want to see some good Taylor Kitsch, watch Friday Night Lights. Kyle Chandler's on the show.
But
Connie Britton.
True. That is true. But the reason why I think the Venom move won't affect Spider-Man is because I think it's not just Sony that's going to have a word into whether it moves or not. I think Disney and Kevin Feige are going to have some input on whether it gets moved or not, especially when you have Doctor Strange coming.
Yeah. You could have a standoff here, though, because Sony may not be contractually obligated to move, and it could be one of those you blink first type situations where they'll say, hey, you better listen to us. You better give us what we're asking for. It's a good negotiation spot for Sony because they're holding the card right now, because if there is something that is spoiled by that, they're under no or not even spoiled, but implied. I should say it's different from the situation with Falcon Winter Soldier and Black Widow, where I feel like they actually have to change things in Falcon Winter Soldier because it was initially released after. Maybe some scenes will be a post-credit scene in Black Widow instead of what would have been a scene in Falcon Winter Soldier. With this, it's two different studios that own rights to certain characters, and the Michael Keaton, whose real name is Michael Douglas, actually. If people didn't know that, Michael Keaton's given name is Michael Douglas.
There you go.
Yeah, it is. What? Yeah. It's one of those things where they could have a standoff where Sony could be negotiating for like certain characters, certain rights, or like a move in the future where it was saying, hey, we can release this movie, but we're not going to because you're going to do XYZ for us. Extortion, pretty much.
So I was gonna say before I go ahead.
Just love a good extortion.
Pictures of Michael Keaton.
So I was gonna say before I go ahead and moved on. It actually funny it happened while I was phased out for a second there because of the internet. But I decided to look up your character Jessica Drew just to see if there was any movement on film. So nothing in live action, but apparently, Lord and Miller earmarked her as one of the 3 they wanted in their Spider-Verse female spinoff, which was Spider-Gwen, Silk, and her.
Yeah.
And that
really
actually and so this was small enough that I didn't report it. But this
and she has no relation to Spider-Man usually in the comics. Like she's not really it's not a bitten by a radioactive spider. She's like a spy.
Yeah.
So this film I didn't report it because it's small news technically, none of it's confirmed, but they recently entered negotiations to bring on a director, Lauren Montgomery. It would be her first theatrical film, but she's worked on a majority as both director and writer for a lot of the DC direct-to-DVD films. And she was also a lead.
She did the Wonder Woman one. It's a good one.
She was also lead creative on one of the lead creatives on Avatar: The Last Airbender season 3 back in the day.
Ooh.
So she's worked on some quality stuff. Real
quality shit here.
But nothing confirmed, so that's why I never brought it up as news. But that did recently happen. So
that's interesting.
Could show up in animated sooner rather than later if they get that going. Because they
that would be actually
to
really
that
cool.
movie work.
Animated, they have opportunity to do anything in animated.
Yeah. The three films that have been talked about, I love. Obviously, the sequel to Spider-Verse, that film, and then John Mulaney said apparently he pitched them a All the President's Men style spinoff with Spider-Ham. Which
that would be
never got made.
Spider-Ham, who is joining us on this show right now, Devin. He found Spider-Ham. Spider-Ham. Oh my God, this is great, guys. We got Spider-Man here. Spider-Ham. There he is. This is great. Yeah, no, I know it is good for me. You hit his nose, or wait. Oh no, you hit his ears. Thank you, Devin. Hit his ears, and his eyes change.
Huh?
They'd go from.
Nice.
See that's angry Spider-Ham.
I think if you hit my ears, my eyes change too.
Spider-Ham.
So with that, let's go ahead and get into this week was a really
kind of sticks.
A slow news week overall, so not a lot of big breaking stories. So I took the opportunity to kind of come up with just a few more videos. If we don't get through all of them, that's fine. But just a couple of videos, just including a bunch of tidbit stories we can kind of talk about and discuss for a little bit. Here's the first one.
We can talk about your
This week it was confirmed that Ace Ventura 3 is more than just a potential thought in Hollywood, but apparently an active production. An executive from Morgan Creek Entertainment, the studio that produced the original 2 films, revealed that over the course of the pandemic, they signed a production deal with Amazon in which the film was one of the projects they began working on. While Jim Carrey isn't confirmed to be returning, we do know that Amazon will distribute, and most likely a theatrical release will be within the cards, and that the script is being worked on by Pat Casey and Josh Miller, who are most known for writing the Sonic the Hedgehog film and its upcoming sequel. Nothing else is known as of yet. Nearly 15 months after its original production began, Matt Reeves' The Batman has finally completed production after fighting through multiple shutdowns, including when its star, Robert Pattinson, caught COVID. Reeves and the cast took time to celebrate through social media, but now the hard work on post begins, as the film is set to release in just under a year on March 4th, 2022. This week, Deadline reported that Warner Brothers and DC Films will be teaming with Chernin Entertainment, the studio which handled most of the production for the Planet of the Apes reboot trilogy, to develop a film around the hero of Our Man. Newcomer writers Gavin James and Neil Widener have been tapped to write the script, but there is no word on who will play the titular hero or who will direct. This is the second attempt the studio has made to produce something with Our Man after originally attempting to give him a CW show back in 2013. Moving on from DC, indie studio XYZ Pictures, a studio that over the last few years has begun stepping up the quality of its productions. Example given's 2020 films Color Out of Space with Nick Cage and Cutthroat City directed by RZA announced that they were entering production in May on one of their biggest projects yet with some pretty big names attached. God is a Bullet, a film based on the book of the same name, will be directed by Nick Cassavetes, who is most known for directing The Notebook and the film Alpha Dog. The story follows Detective Bob Hightower, played by Game of Thrones actor Nikolai Coster-Waldau, whose daughter is kidnapped by a satanic cult after they murder his ex-wife. After the official process of investigation doesn't move quick enough for him, he quits and goes undercover alongside an escapee from the cult who offers to help him find his daughter. It Follows star Micah Monroe will play the escapee, and the film's supporting cast as of now includes Jamie Foxx, January Jones, and comedian Andrew Dice Clay. Filming is prepping to begin in Mexico City starting May 24th with no release date for the film as of yet. And finally, last year, Warner Brothers announced that they were going to be producing a remake of the Steve Martin and Spencer Tracy film Father of the Bride, this time focused on a Hispanic family. Well, this week, actor Andy Garcia was confirmed to be joining the cast as the titular father. Nothing else is known about the reboot outside of the fact that writer Matt Lopez is working on the script. Lopez is most known for writing Race to Witch Mountain and The Sorcerer's Apprentice for Disney. It'll be interesting to see where the cast develops here, with the film having a legacy of being remade multiple times in Hollywood and a slew of very popular and successful Hispanic actors, possibly at the studios.
Yeah, you perked me up when I heard the Dice Man mentioned. He was great in A Star Is Born. Like I hadn't seen him in a long time before that. But like as soon as he showed up, and then I'm like, hey, it's the Dice Man. Hey. But Our Man you mentioned was also on Stargirl, very like a show that is way better than it should be, to be honest.
Okay.
Stargirl is one of the best superhero shows in a long time.
Yeah.
It is absolutely incredible. I cannot wait
so
for
good.
The second season. I cannot wait for that.
Do you know why it's as good as it is, Alan? And this is interesting, and because it ties in the Our Man thing. Because Our Man and his son, Our Man too, are on that show. But the reason that show is so good, the product placement. The product placement in that show is so blatant at times, but it's in non-important scenes, and that's what pays for the show. That's why it's so cinematic. So product placement, don't fight it, guys. You can laugh at it when it happens, but it's paying for the movie.
Paying for the
now,
and that show looks fantastic. That show looks brilliant.
So cinematic. It's like Superman, Lois,
and it's
Batwoman,
great because it's only a few. It's only a few episodes. It's not these 20 some up episodes with the CW stuff.
Luke Wilson has never been better.
Love that show.
Like honestly, Luke Wilson never been better. Now you mentioned two comedy sequels that are way past their prime: Father of the Bride and Ace Ventura. As soon as I heard both of those, I cringed. You don't do that, guys. Just don't do it. It's in the past. Let the past die. Bury it if you have to. It's the only way you can become what you were meant to be.
I wanna move on. I wanna talk about the Ace Ventura thing because I was talking with a friend, and they're not a huge film person, but they heard about this Ace Ventura news, and they were like, so you're a film guy. He's like, so I want to see what you think about this. And he pitched me an actor where it's like, if Jim Carrey doesn't come back for whatever reason, this is someone I thought of that could replace that role. And I just want to see what you guys think. If Jim Carrey doesn't come back, what would you think of Evan Peters leading that film?
I could see Evan Peters talking out of his butt, like holding his hands on his butt cheeks and like spreading them apart as a mouth. I think the movie sucked.
Evan Peters. Hey, what about the guy from Son of the Mask?
Son of the
Jamie Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy. Evan Peters is actually a good suggestion there, and I like that. However, do we really need another Ace Ventura? I mean, honestly, I don't think so.
No, I don't either.
I don't even know if When Nature Calls is very justified to exist, but you know, if it
didn't they have an Ace Ventura Jr.? Didn't they have one?
Did. That was a shit.
Junior.
I want to direct to DVD, but it doesn't exist.
That's what it is. That's what it is right there. I'm on board for another Ace Ventura if Sean Connery plays Ace Ventura. And then they have Ace Ventura Jr. He comes out of retirement. Junior. Oh, shit.
The now passed away Sean Connery.
Come on, guys. No. See, this is what I was talking about with the Chadwick Boseman thing. I literally forgot that Sean Connery died. And now I have to relive it all over again. No, I literally forgot that he died. No.
The great Sean Connery is no longer with us, but he'll come out of
retirement. Yes, no longer with
us. Guys, that's terrible. That's terrible. Come on. No, not that one. You hate that one.
All right. Yes.
We need to sing more on this show.
You don't know that song is everywhere.
I
know. It's
assume,
the most Hawaiian thing that ever exists.
I think it's a beautiful rendition of the song, but I can only assume if you're stuck listening to it all the time, it's the worst.
It's a great song, and brother is amazing musician.
Every time my sister calls my dad, I hear that ringtone.
Yeah, like it's, and I've heard other music from him. Like I've heard other music from him. I have a friend who actually really likes his music. And he's a great artist, but like, as much as I think that's a brilliant rendition of the song, because it really is. The ukulele.
What were you
so
playing,
simplistic.
by the way?
Yeah, I was playing ukulele. Yeah.
What song?
He was just.
I know.
I was just playing.
Oh, it's beautiful. Let's make words to it. One division. That was way off key, but I liked it.
You know, having watched the behind the scenes of that show, I could perfectly imagine them two just playing a ukulele and singing to it.
If they do a WandaVision
season 2,
nice. Or we have to do like just a bonus video for like WandaVision just so that we could have that as the opening.
I like it. It works. We can do that. We can pull a WandaVision song.
But before we go ahead,
yes.
Alan.
Before we move on, the other things. Honestly, none of that stuff made any sense. It didn't. I wasn't interested. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, Ace Ventura. Nah. I do actually. I'll admit the Father of the Bride thing. Another remake with a different, family that could work. And I'm unabashed, unashamed. I love Andy Garcia. Love him. In fact,
do too.
You could have been picked a better picture of him.
Yeah, you hear what I'm saying, though, right? Why call it Father of the Bride?
So,
like they have so many Guess Who's Coming to Dinner movies that aren't called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Why call it Father of the Bride?
Because he's the father of the bride.
That's what put butts in seats.
It's for money. It's money.
A little behind the scenes clip, just to answer your question.
We're still talking, Aaron. God.
Fuck off.
I forgot about this.
A little behind the scenes thing. So I just pull the stories and then I actually shoot them to Nikki and Matt and get a suggested ranking. That was the last thing. That was the last thing I recorded. So that was the last picture I had to get, and I was like, first one, boom, done.
But I like how you've been doing that. Because it lets me and it lets us get on the same page for the show. Like I don't know what you said here, but I said to him after I saw those, I said I think we should lead with like some Zack Snyder Fallout because I think that
he followed up with the exact same. He followed up the same thing you did right after, like 5 minutes later. It was like, okay,
we're on a different level now, guys. We're like we're about to like skyrockets in
so before I play the next video, I do want to say I included it in there because, again, it's a film that under most pretenses of shows would not get mentioned. This God is a Bullet thing sounds really intriguing to me. Like, I like that cast. Funny enough, aside from Game of Thrones, Nikolai Coster-Waldau is another actor who's a solid actor that just keeps getting put in shit films.
I was just going over who he banged on Game of Thrones with Devin. Because he didn't watch that show, so I was like, okay, he banged Captain Phasma, and he banged Lena Headey, who was his sister. Real WandaVision situation.
In Gods of Egypt, he banged Elektra in that film. I'm pretty sure.
Good God, man.
But yeah,
I like the song by Concrete Blonde back in the '90s. God is a Bullet. That's a great song.
But yeah, I like this concept. I like the idea of like a murder mystery that's like an intense one, kind of like a Gone Baby Gone type thing. Not Gone Baby Gone. Is that the right film? Am I thinking of the right one?
Gone Baby Gone.
Gone Baby Gone's got a murder mystery in there.
What was the one with Hemsworth? The one with Hemsworth that was sort of Tarantino. El Royale. Bad Times at El Royale.
Bad Times at
El Royale. I really like that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was
but it was Nikolai Coster-Waldau. Who else was on that cast?
Nikolai Coster-Waldau, Michael Monroe, Jamie Foxx, Harry Jones, and not John Cena yet. And then obviously, as Nikki said earlier, Andrew Dice Clay is a part of that cast as well.
Dice Man, yeah, that's what
I have a funny feeling that he's the leader of the cult. I just feel like that would make sense.
Oh,
he's gonna die horribly in that movie.
Oh, he's gonna get maimed.
Yeah, he's gonna die horribly and it's gonna be hilarious.
I didn't include it in the story because I couldn't get any more context as to what his role is, but apparently Fox's role is also incredibly important in the book. There was just no context as to what his role is, so I didn't include it. So really it's a three-man lead between him, Waldo, and Michael Monroe, who...
The three amigos.
Who's doing a rain dance with a freaking one of those things?
If anybody's ever seen It Follows, I thought she was great in that film. She really makes that film. Then unfortunately her next film was Independence Day, which did not help her career at all.
Regurgence.
Yeah. Who was she? Was she the one that was the president's daughter?
Yeah.
Awful. Yeah. She's awful in that movie.
Yeah, she's not. None of them are good. To be
A-Train, but like A-Train survived. Like he's lucky because he got that A-Train role. He actually the guy that plays A-Train in The Boys. He plays Will Smith's son.
Oh, Jesse T. Usher? I didn't know he was in that show.
Jesse T. Usher, He plays Will Smith's son in that, and I completely forgot it by the time A-Train rolled around, and I don't think he would have gotten the A-Train role. I think he would have been a much bigger actor now if that movie had succeeded, but I think it helped him out, because going down to an Amazon show that, like, is kind of a niche thing that is kind of really, like, caught on and taken off, and it's their top show, he's now, like, becoming a bigger star because he's great on that show where like he's just a douchebag at first, but you actually by like the end of season 2 you kind of feel for him, like you feel bad for him at times, and other times you just hate him. But the physics, oh god, the first episode of that show. No, watch The Boys, guys.
A-Train's girlfriend.
Yeah.
What he did to her.
Oh yeah.
What he did to her.
I forgot about that. I did forget about that.
The Boys is great. It's a great show.
Unfortunately, not every person is destined to make the step up. I've seen Jesse Usher.
Was he in a Step Up movie?
No. But I've seen Jesse Usher in smaller films. Like there was a holiday film that came out a few years ago. Almost.
And he's
Christmas.
not Usher's son.
That wasn't perfect by any means, but I thought he was solid in it. And I've seen him in other small things that he's good in. It's just unfortunate his two blockbuster films are Independence Things and fucking Shaft. They're just not good films.
Okay, I need to watch Shaft because it looks terrible, but it looks like the kind of terrible that I like.
I mean, it's like really dumb fun. The new one is like really dumb fun just because it's like Sam Jackson, Richard Roundtree, and like Jesse Usher. They have chemistry. 3 shafts, yes. They have chemistry with each other. It's just a bad film. It's a really
they do the Three Amigos dance, and at the end of it go, Shaft.
Oh my god.
Maybe not. Okay, that was gross.
I think they should. Just for you.
Don't ever do that.
Put it in a jar. Everything's fine, everybody.
I forgot we had
just put it in the jar. Okay, can we talk about Beer's obsession with Campia? Like since it's kind of still on news.
Campia is a wonderful Italian.
Go through the Campia.
Once satisfied women in marriages, now take a look at what I got and all of my Italianness.
It's the Italianness, man.
Did he like get really back into shape over COVID or something? Like is there back?
No, he did not.
No, there's not.
His clips when you like. That answer got given clearly because of StreamYard's things next to him. That answer got given as a response to a question. When you pull that out of context, that is brilliant.
It's great.
It makes me so happy. Okay, guys.
Very funny.
I made this video this week.
Whoa! Why does Jason Momoa look like he's finishing in the ocean there?
Because Oh, I heard this. This is cute.
I got to select the audio because this is funny.
Willem Dafoe?
I did. Really it is Willem Dafoe. I do this sometimes.
I like
what
Nikki did to it.
No, but I want this to be like an
rid of the tab.
I got rid of the tab. Okay, thank you. But I want this to be an ongoing thing where we take moments in movies and we can put them on this channel instead of mine if you want. But we vote for what to do. Like it could be an interaction thing with people, but we vote for what to do next because I've done a few of these. Now you can see it, and I hope you can hear the audio because the audio is the best part. This is during the Snyder Cut, and this is what I was thinking when I was watching the Snyder Cut.
What do you want, Falcon? Avenge me. Avenge me.
We're gonna mention that in our review. But did anybody else? See, those are the things that I post. I did another one with like the Mandalorian and Wonder
Life is
Woman
good,
84.
but it can be better.
I need to pull that one up because
Did you just call Pedro Pascal the Mandalorian?
the Mandalorian, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the show. And then...
Okay.
The Mandalorian from Wonder Woman, that guy.
Kevin, explain it. Explain it to them.
What?
Explain it to them. It's the first. If you type, okay, here's how proud I am of this video. If you type the Mandalorian Wonder Woman on YouTube, it's the third thing down. So I'm gonna share this one with you too. This is another one of those situations, and I want to come up with more of these. I want this to be like a group effort because I want to make like more viral videos because this is fun for me.
This is the way.
Stupid.
You're the guy from TV.
I'll take it.
Wackiness.
Yeah. It's dumb, but like that got like 100,000 views. So like we gotta come up, we gotta like have like a pitch meeting about like people pitching me different edit.
That's a different
because I'm not good at editing, but I'm good at dubbing. Because I got like these sound buttons. It's a different show. We can make it a show, but I more want to make it like short form videos because we have a lot of long form videos on the channel. But people like short form stuff that they can watch while they're on the toilet too.
In less than 10 minutes.
So if that's the best thing that I can do, I want you guys to watch that while you're on the toilet.
Okay. So,
I love it.
All right, we'll get in one more video. We'll get in one more video before we go to break. I'm going to go around the circle and get a vote from everybody, okay? All right, I'm going to give you two options. Let's get a vote from everybody. That'll dictate which video I click on, okay? All right. Sonic or the Mighty Ducks?
With that titty dick in your mouth.
Sonic.
Sonic
or the Mighty Ducks, Alan?
Sonic.
Everybody votes
Chris.
Sonic. We have consensus.
Sonic.
We don't talk about Disney Plus on this channel,
Sonic.
even
No, we
though
do.
we had
Oh,
a
right, we definitely don't talk
spoiler
about
discussion
Disney.
yesterday.
All right, so here's the video with
You like the
Sonic.
Sonics?
Director Jeff Fowler revealed through Twitter that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 has begun filming as of this week. The film will see all major players return from the first film, including stars Ben Schwartz, Jim Carrey, James Marsden, and Tika Sumpter, as well as being written by the original film's writers, Pat Casey and Josh Miller. The film will also see game character Tails added, although the voice actor has yet to be cast. The film is set to be released on April 8th, 2022. Snake Eyes, a G.I. Joe Origins, is back to set after wrapping over a year ago. Star Henry Golding took to Instagram to calm fan worries and revealed that the reshoots have always been planned as a part of the natural production, but due to the film ending right before the COVID pandemic happened, it made it difficult getting all the cast together. Alongside Golding, the film stars Andrew Koji, Iko Uwais, and Samara Weaving and is set to release on October 2nd, 2021. Fresh off the release of their film Cherry, the Russo brothers are back to set working on their next film, The Gray Man. The film follows Ryan Gosling as a mercenary who is ex-CIA that is being hunted down by his former partner, played by Chris Evans. The brothers, who are working with Netflix, have been given a $200 million budget to work with on the film, and the boys have put a hell of a cast together. Alongside Gosling and Evans, the large ensemble, just a few names from it, includes Ana de Armas, Jessica Henwick, Indian actor Danush, Billy Bob Thornton, Alfred Woodard, and Bridgerton star Regina Page. I definitely said that wrong. Among many others. The film currently does not have a release date, but if you're a fan of the Russos, their work rate is unquestioned. Cherry is available on Apple TV, Extraction is available on Netflix, and all their Marvel work is available on Disney+. And finally, Netflix isn't working with just one great ensemble, as this week they announced that they will be adapting the William Joyce children's book Ollie Odyssey as Lost Ollie, a 4-part miniseries with a credible starring cast of its own. Hamilton and Frozen co-star Jonathan Groff will be playing the lead star Ollie, who is a lost toy looking for his owner, played by newcomer Kesler Talbot. Joining them, the ensemble will include Mary J. Blige and Tim Blake Nelson as actors also playing toys alongside Groff, and Gina Rodriguez and Jake Johnson as the boys' parents. The series will be a live-action animated hybrid and will be spearheaded by Stranger Things producer Sean Levy, as well as Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse co-director Peter Ramsey, who has already confirmed that they will be working with ILM to create the animation.
Yeah.
So,
WandaVision, WandaVision. Henry Golding was in.
All right.
Henry Golding. Okay.
Go ahead,
no,
Matt.
Henry
You look like
Golding
you wanted
was
to hop
in.
on something, so go ahead.
Henry
So it's the
Golding
Russo
was in,
brothers
Gentleman.
directing The Gray Man.
Yes.
Okay, so I cannot wait to get the anal shot from Chris Evans.
No, why do we? I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I knew he was going to do it.
Shot,
I knew
the
he was going
Raven
to
smash
do that.
against the pipe and thing.
So
I can't wait to
honestly,
see that.
I am hoping
please, no!
that
No!
It's okay, Michael. It's okay. I'm personally hoping that Cherry was just an unfortunate fluke with them trying to adjust back to subtle filmmaking. This film seems a little
Why is
bigger
the movie
in
called
terms
Cherry?
of...
That makes it.
Is that released? Is
Cherry,
Cherry
yes,
released?
it's on Apple TV.
On Apple TV, don't you?
Apple TV.
Do you have an Apple phone?
I do not.
He did it with
I do not.
But yeah, so this Gray Man, I'm hoping, and I haven't seen it yet, so I can't judge it myself, but if it's like anything I've heard, I'm hoping that Cherry is a one-off fluke of them struggling to adjust back to small filmmaking, because this cast is incredible. I like this concept. I like the idea of Gosling and Evans kind of having a back and forth, almost like a Catch Me If You Can type, but probably more violent because they're CIA and mercenary, not investigator and I don't know, whatever DiCaprio was in that film. I love the concept. I like the actors, even the supporting cast. I really like all of it. I mean, like, Ana de Armas been great in everything she's been in. Billy Bob Thornton's a great pull. Like, it's got some good cast members. I hope it's good. I hope the Russos, whatever the issue is with Cherry, I hope they get it together and fix it.
Alana, they don't.
Every time you say it, it hurts me.
And Matt would back me up here. Alana, they don't do the stupid narration like they did in Cherry, would throw me so up to the wall that I had to turn off about 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
It was bad.
That's a movie that I may have to turn off. Like I usually say, like, really, did you have to turn it off? But like, I might have to turn that one off.
Yeah,
but Aaron,
wait.
I just wanted to say, none of us talked about the Chiwetel Ejiofor news about Doctor Strange before. Like, it kind of got overcited. I'm very excited to see him back. We watched Serenity last week, and like,
he was in that.
He was in that, and I was so surprised because his entrance in the movie just walks through a hologram. I'm like, whoa, hi! Like, you're way better than this movie deserves.
He's also in a Marvel movie.
Doctor
He's also in a Netflix movie.
Takes Benjamin Bratt's
Netflix,
legs.
The Gray Man. Right.
Chiwetel?
Yeah. I don't dream.
He's in that Charlize Theron movie.
The Old Guard.
Oh, yeah.
The Old Guard, yeah.
Yeah, he's in that.
Which was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Never saw it.
It's got Kiki Lane in it, dude. And, ooh.
He is top tier actor.
Beautiful.
But again,
stay on target. Sorry.
Stay on target.
My fault, Alan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Anyway, so I like the cast. I like Chris Evans, in the movie. I like Ryan Gosling. I love Ana de Armas.
You like
I
Alan?
Just love her.
You like
Ana de Armas from Knives Out.
She's a good actor too.
Ana de Armas from Knives Out.
But
Knives Out.
Yes.
The nurse. Oh yes.
Yes.
2029.
Yes, she is.
The nurse that didn't tell her patient that if you were on that much morphine right now, you wouldn't be able to talk.
Yes, I'm not going to allow any Ryan Johnson slander here. Anyway,
I love Ryan Johnson. I love Ryan Johnson. Johnson. I always say Johnston. I gotta stop doing that.
Yes, just keep saying
Space
Johnson
donkeys.
and Johnson like the brand. Johnson and Johnson.
I don't. Keep your Johnson away from me.
Broom Kid.
Johnson and Johnson.
Broom Kid. Yeah.
So,
I forgot about
back to the thing.
Rose.
All right.
Nah.
Keep your Johnson and your Peter.
Hey.
To get back to the story, as I'm muting for a reason. So
We're running out of gas.
I'm muting.
That was Alan. That was.
I'm gonna keep muting so I can finish my point. I'm gonna finish my point. Removing from the stream will be next. So, to get back to my fucking point, we're gonna start removing everybody so I can get to my fucking point. All right. Anyway, the Russo brothers. How the fuck? Fuck.
Get your points out so I can bring them back on screen.
To get back to my fucking point. Anyway, we're gonna ban you now, Nikki, from the stream. Bye bye.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So, need to finish my point.
God damn it, get it out.
Here's the thing about the Russo brothers. Obviously, I enjoy their MCU stuff, like the Winter Soldier. Absolutely do. I absolutely adore the Winter Soldier. Civil War, I like, but it's definitely my least favorite of the Russo brothers Marvel stuff. Love Infinity War, love Endgame, even though Endgame I only love because of the third act.
I love you.
Thank you, man. I love you too. Outside of that, I really, when we're talking about the movies anyway, I have not liked anything they've done. I did not like that. Is it Yumi and Dupree? I believe they did.
That was a bad one.
21 Bridges, don't like
really?
that.
You don't like the Coldplay song at the end when he's running?
No, I don't. I don't like any of their
they
movies outside of.
They did not have anything to do with 21 Bridges outside of their studio name being attached to it. That's why their names are on that.
But
remember when he was yelling about that
actor
actor on the magazine cover? Can you name the actor?
Wait, what about a magazine cover?
That's a good trivia question. 5-point question. In Yumi and Dupree, who is the actor on the magazine cover that Matt Dillon was yelling about? He was yelling about his hairless back.
It's Jim Carrey.
No.
But no.
Good.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. So that's probably correct.
Let Matt finish, please.
But
we'll mute you all again.
Yeah, I will boot people. But no.
I wish you boot the point out your damn mouth, sir. Jesus Christ.
I would if people would stop talking. Here, we're going to do it again, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do it again. I've not liked anything the Russos have done outside the MCU. So while I enjoy the cast of the Gray Man, especially Ana de Armas, I am not super confident in the movie as far as the quality of the movie being good. I am worried that it could be bad because the Russo brothers are involved, and whenever the Marvel Studios logo is not in front of the movie, it doesn't usually end up being good. I'm including the things their studio has done, they've written, yada, yada, yada. So there's my point. Now we'll start adding people back in. Thank you.
No, Nikki,
Matt,
I've just seen your text. Please.
Did you watch Community?
I'm talking movies specifically. The TV shows
movies
are completely different, but movies, they really haven't done anything for me.
Yeah, no, you make a very good point with John Campbell as well.
Yes.
All right. So before we move on, nobody gives a fuck about Snake Eyes, right? Like, let's just get that out there. No one.
Henry Golding. No. I was saying Henry Golding was really good in The Gentleman. Like he had a small role.
He was good in that.
He was a good. Yeah.
Very good.
He is the only likable thing in Last Christmas.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. You're going last.
That was a birthday movie.
The Wham song.
All right. So let's take a vote right now. The first G.I. Joe movie or the second one?
I never finished the second
one from the 80s.
The cartoon one?
Sure,
the one with Dennis Quaid.
I love the cartoon one, but
which one has Adrian Palicki?
Rise of Cobra way better.
Adrian Palicki is the second one.
The second one. I love Adrian Palicki, but I don't think I even noticed she was in the movie because I didn't finish watching.
The second one wasn't so much a Joe film as it was just The Rock's ego at its worst.
If that was just it, like I would have been okay with that. My problem with it was that it was boring.
It was boring.
The only thing that made me entertained with the
first one has Tatum. The first one has Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Mm-hmm.
The first one has Christopher Eccleston.
And the second one has
John Cena. It does not. It has a Bruce Willis fresh off of starring in Looper, so he does not care at all.
John Cena's not in one of the Transformers movies?
Who was the girl that played Baroness?
Oh,
in
no,
the first
no.
one?
Yeah, Joe, yes, he is.
Baroness. That's the good one or the bad
Baroness? That was the bad one. She was the bad one.
I'll look it up. Give me a sec.
The black-haired one.
Let's say.
Whoever she was fine. That's who she was fine.
I can't believe Justin gonna love it in G.I. Joe.
Listen,
he
man,
was Destro.
He was a nobody.
Oh no, he was Mindbender. Was he Mindbender or Destro? I can't remember.
He was the doctor, Cobra Commander.
I am now attaching the mind bender.
Oh, he was Cobra Commander. That's right, shit.
Sienna Miller.
I gotta watch that again.
Sienna Miller played her.
Sienna Miller. Woo!
And that's actually, I will say, the casting for this film, though I don't care about it, and the director does not inspire me, because it's being made by Robert Schwenke, who directed the second two Divergent films.
Oh,
but that's a great name, Schwenke.
It's a great name. But it doesn't inspire me.
Doesn't make him a good filmmaker.
I will say,
it doesn't forgive him for Detergent.
The cast is pretty stellar. Like Henry Golding, Iko Uwais of the Raid films. And Samara Weaving as Baroness in this film. She's playing Baroness.
I like Samara Weaving.
I
like Samara Weaving. Ready or Not is a really great film. Did you guys see that? It's a really great film.
Yeah.
Love that film.
Yeah.
I'm worried about
that's a fun film.
I'm worried about Sigourney Weaving because I was really excited about Sigourney Weaving in Defenders, in a movie like Defenders. Sigourney Weaver. Did I really just say that? Sigourney Weaver.
You said Sigourney. No, you got that.
Sigourney Weaving.
Right there.
You said Sigourney Weaving.
Okay, so I was really excited about Sigourney Weaver.
Nikki got problems tonight.
In a movie like Defenders, or a TV show like Defenders.
What does Sigourney have to do with this?
You just said Sigourney Weaver.
No, Samara Weaving is G.I. Joe. Sigourney Weaver is a great actress. If you want to talk about her, go ahead.
Devin.
Nothing to do.
So that's why I said the name wrong, because I heard what you said, and my subconscious was telling me that I was wrong. And I was like, Sigourney Weaver, and I said, Sigourney Weaving. Okay, that was very embarrassing, guys.
Shit.
I want to see Samara Weaving and Sigourney Weaver mixed, blended into one person. Yes, that's what I want. Bring it to me.
I think we have the technology to do that.
Put them both in the Brundle Fly transporter things, and they'll come out as one person.
There's an iPhone app for that. Devin, pull it up. You can see what the kids would look like.
All right, so before we go off, the last thing I'll bring up, Sonic 2, cool.
Oh, Devin had something.
Oh, yes. Hold on. Sonic 2.
Devin
I'm actually looking forward to that because I really enjoyed the first Sonic. My son loved it. It's one of his favorite. I really liked it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Weren't they talking about Knuckles being in this too?
That's a rumor, but it's not confirmed.
It's not true.
Okay.
They implied Knuckle in the first one.
No, they didn't. They implied Tails by showing Tails. Knuckles never implied.
No,
there were some Knuckles-esque guys. Yeah, the tribe was Knuckles-esque.
They showed that echidnas exist, but they never directly said Knuckles would exist.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, Devin, go ahead.
My Knuckles exist.
Fair enough. You want to play the echidna, Alan?
Devin, what you got to say, brother?
As far as Snake Eyes goes, do we know if Ray Park is coming back?
No.
Then fuck it.
Sorry, not to kill your anticipation, but no. From
just
what
give you a flat out.
He was very dedicated to the role in the first two, so much, or the first one especially, so much that he didn't speak at all on set. Even though he was the one that knew the most about any of the characters. So they would keep going to him, and he just wouldn't respond unless he was out of character.
That's probably why those films aren't very good.
What was up with the mask that perfectly defined his lips? It was worse than bat nipples. It was snake eye lips. It was weird.
The fact that Jonathan Pryce was in the G.I. Joe movie and looking at like, oh my god, what's he doing there?
I'm just.
I'd be in it. I'd be a Joe.
I'll be a Joe too.
Who was the president of the United States?
I'll be Shipwreck, the guy with the parrot.
I'll be Joe. I'll be Jim.
Always wearing a Law shirt.
And
I'll be
ending
Bruce.
this show.
Tunnel Rats. Tunnel Rats, awesome.
John Cena.
Sorry about the mess. Well, on that note, the last thing I wanted to get in before Devin wanted to speak was the other project that got mentioned, the miniseries Lost Ollie. I know it's based on a classic book. I don't know anything about the book, but it's based on a classic book. I just think that's a cool cast, like Jake Johnson, Jonathan Groff, not John Cena. I think it's a great cast, and I loved Into the Spider-Verse, so it had 3 directors, but they all had an equal part to play, so the fact that gentleman, Peter Ramsey, is stepping into another project, awesome. That being said, that is the show for tonight, guys. We're going to go ahead and close it out. I will go around the corner. John Cena Lover, 69, next to me. Where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, that's me.
It's
oddly enough, his father lives nearby. He lives in the area. I don't love John Cena. I just think you gave me a lot of opportunities tonight to answer John Cena. And that last one, you hesitated. You were like, jaw, and I hit it, and it kind of fit. It was like perfect fit. So like, yeah, it was a good night. We have our Falcon Winter Soldier review that we did the other night. Tomorrow we're gonna have our spoiler talk of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Very excited to talk about that. Alan will be there. Aaron will be there. Matthew, you'll be there.
What time is it? I'll put it in the chat.
Devin, he's undecided. He's like Bruce in Thor Ragnarok. He's undecided at this point.
Yeah, undecided.
All right.
Undecided.
Mr. Dr. Spaceman down there, where can people find you?
You can find me. You can find me here. You can find me there. You can find me everywhere. But most importantly, you can find me and my man Matt Beer on the Cancel This show. We got some good topics coming up this week, so I'm excited to do it.
I gotta be there this week.
We gotta get Nikki on soon.
Mr. Chris Diaz, thank you for guesting. Where can people find you?
Find me on Facebook. You should probably find me tomorrow. I also will be on a spoiler talk, and I posted my review up yesterday on my Facebook. My start on Justice League, but you hear my first on tomorrow. I've got lots to say.
Booyah! And Mr. Beer, the man who runs the show, where can people find you? Do we need to all drop out for this one, or I can take care of it?
Drop each one of you out real quick.
You just switch the solo layout.
Yeah, you could just go solo layout. There really was an easier way to do that. But go ahead, man. Where can people find
you? We were just playing.
As I readjust everybody real quick.
Oh God, not this again.
I think it's close enough.
Have we really gone back to this? We've come so far.
Fuck it. You can find me here on this channel.
Beautiful.
As I do things. Here, actually, I think that's how it was.
I'm getting dizzy.
Beer.
All right, and you guys can find me everywhere here on TMG Entertainment. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the bell. Thank you. Please rate the video, comment, interact, do everything that you guys can, and stick around for all the content that we are producing. In addition to the trailer reactions Matt's been handling and the movie reviews that I'm putting up, we have After Dark every Saturday night at 9 p.m. EST. Tomorrow at noon, we have the Supernova Show. All your geekiest pleasures are there for you to watch. Tomorrow night at 9 p.m. EST, we're doing a special Zack Snyder's Justice League spoiler discussion, so tune in for that. Mondays at 7 p.m. EST, we have Schmo Talks. Tuesday afternoon, we have Cancel This Show. And on Fridays at 8 p.m. EST,
he's trying
we
so
have
hard
the
out.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier spoiler discussion every single week. With that said, thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and all that bullshit. My name is Aaron Knoll. For everybody at TMG Entertainment and Mr. Mime in the bottom there, my name is Aaron Knoll. We'll see you guys next time.
Good God.